Hi, I'm McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups, relationship issues, and a bunch of other stuff. Happy New Year once again. January 3rd, where I'm at, maybe January 2nd, where you're at. Who knows? But it's a new year, a new time to work on you, to be you, or be a better you. Today we have a couple breakup stories on deck. A really crazy one, actually, where they don't want to break up, but they had a pretty crappy, that might be an understatement, New Year's. And it's kind of funny because sometimes you make some big plans, like a vacation with your girlfriend, boyfriend, your partner, what have you, and it goes bad, and you had nothing but good intentions. You were excited about it. You thought it was going to be rose petals and wine glasses, or you maybe thought it was going to be shit going into it, but you're like, this is what everyone does. They go on vacation or they do a New Year's night. But, you know, living somewhere where a lot of people go on vacation, a lot of people look miserable when they're on vacation. But this guy that sent in his story today, it's pretty bad. It's probably one of the worst case scenarios that you could have. I've heard actually something similar at a wedding party where the girlfriend, weddings are kind of dangerous though, huh? Weddings are like a hotbed for, if you're single, let's hook up kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been my thing, and I didn't actually know that there's real wedding crashers.
Oh, it's a serious.
You told me that you did it for a little while back in the Bay Area. You said you used to do some wedding crashers.
I did not do that.
Clutch, who's been on the show a few times, said, oh yeah, we definitely did. I was like, you would, wow.
I do remember him saying that.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like those kinds of things can mount up. There's a lot of drinking. There's a lot of people getting
For sure.
excited. Yeah. Alcohol is a lubricant. Not literally. But it definitely changes the game for a lot of people.
Right. Love is in the air too. It's one of those things.
Right?
Yeah.
But New Year's, in my experience, I'm like, I just don't even want to be on the road. I don't want to be like... And this year, just went down to the beach, watched a fireworks show, and it was really nice. It was cool. It was all right. But like I said, when I break this story that this guy sent in, it's pretty bad.
All right.
It's pretty much worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Which I think you've had a few situations that have been bad. I had a person send in their story through Instagram. So sometimes people ask me questions. What's up, Rob? It's been a while, my friend.
Rob IS?
Guardian at the gate. Canadian's finest.
Right.
One of the Mounties. He's a Mountie out there in Canada. Rob is. But what tends to happen is people, they'll send you a text through Instagram and they'll be very vague. It's like, what do you think? It's like, what did you give me here? You know what I mean?
Right.
So he's like, oh, I've sent it in before, but you didn't mention it, this or that. So we'll just go off this one. So I sent my story before, and you said you'd talk about it in a new stream. Although this was a few months ago, I'd really appreciate the help. This is my story. So it's possible that I mentioned it, but you didn't go through the stream. I was in a long distance relationship for 2 years. We have been split up for around 7 months with no contact from me. She does view and like my social media posts. This is such a huge thing for people.
Yeah.
It's probably the number one thing that people are attached to post breakup. And it's just a sign of, 2023.
Right.
Is it 2023 or 2022?
23.
Jeez. Did you ever think you'd make it here when it was 85? You weren't born yet. You were still swimming in 85, huh?
Late 85, yeah.
You were born in...
December of 85, yeah.
You were born in 85?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
You're the ox.
The ox, baby.
So she does view and like my social media posts. Okay. Anytime you're post breakup and you have a partner that views and likes your social media posts, it doesn't mean too much. Consider what it means to the person. So if they're an extremely active IG person and let's say they spend 3 to 4 hours on IG, I don't think it's that special that they like or view your post. I'll just be honest. Because
just takes a second to do it.
Okay, for example, I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram. Okay. So when I do like a post or I do make a comment, it's going to carry a little bit more weight because it's a little more scarce. There's people I know, I think you know some people, 3, 4, 5 hours.
Just constantly
right?
flipping through. Yeah.
So if they're, let's just say that the person that spends 3, 4, 5 hours, they like, I don't know, 20 things a day, 40 things
Probably
a day.
more, but yeah.
Or the big ones, like they viewed my story. It's not that they viewed your story. They viewed fucking 50 other stories.
Mm-hmm.
They're just active on Instagram. It's not because you're special.
You were just in the lineup.
But if you're like, actually, they're not that active and they're just using this as a means. Okay, but it's still passive attention. It's very, very thin attention. I wouldn't put a lot of weight on them keeping tabs on you. And you might think, well, I'm living my best life and I'm looking so great. Okay, maybe you got a 6-pack and you've never looked better and all this other crap. Okay, fine. Still, if they're not contacting you directly through text,
what does it mean?
I mean, it's just don't put so much weight on it. It's really, really shallow as far as, well, they've been watching my view. It's like, how many other people do they follow? How many other views if they give 100 likes every 2 or 3 days, that's a drop in the bucket. Okay. When we broke up, it was kind of mutual, but she brought up the subject. Okay. So this is where, when someone's vague, we kind of broke up mutual. Can you give me some more details? Because I don't think that's how it went down. I think someone wanted to break up more than the other person. That's just how it always is. It's never like, except for like 20-year marriages. People that were like in 15, 20, 30-year marriages, they're like, oh yeah, we knew for 5 years.
Yeah, or it must have been dust.
We were in separate bedrooms.
Right.
We hadn't hooked up. She told me she stopped wanting to have, like, okay. But like, if you're in a 2, 3 year, 4 year and you're like, oh, it was kind of mutual. Not really. Someone pushed someone out the door. Okay. Now, if you stay together for a kid or something like that, it can become more and more mutual, where you're just
going along.
You're slowly weaning yourself off the relationship, right? So when we broke up, it was kind of a mutual, but she brought it up, the subject. She brought it up, and you're like, well, she allowed me to agree to it, so you feel like it's mutual. It's I would say technically she broke up with you, and you went, okay, and that's fine. Actually, that's the best thing you can do in a breakup, is accept it. I just agreed things were not working. So here's where I would ask you, what wasn't working? You want my advice? Give me some details. So if you're going to say like, oh, things weren't working. Excuse me, what were the things that weren't working? So then I can have something to go on. Because things are different. What were the things that were not working? But now I realize I truly love this girl and would like her back. Well, she brought up the subject. Are the things that weren't working fixable, or does she want to work on the things that weren't working? Those are the two things. And that, if you can't get past that, right, then just because you like her and you love her and you want her back, and that's a great story and that's, a great movie, it doesn't mean you're going to get her back. But well, now I realize maybe I should have fought for her. Maybe I should have done this. Are the problems fixable? All right, so I'm not sure whether to say stay in no contact or message, as the festive period has made me reflect even more so on things and realize how much I miss her. So this is a great part here. You're in your feelings and you're like, I miss her. I want her back. Great. What does she want? She's the one that brought up the subject about breaking up. What's changed in 7 months that's going to change the game? Okay. What's going to change? I also would ask you, like, what kind of person is she? Is she stubborn? Is she someone that would like, is she already rotated out and started dating? There's so many variables here. The fact that you got nostalgia and you're like, I really miss her, I really want her back, that doesn't mean that it's going to work. I feel we broke up because of my needy behavior. Again, this is a very broad thing. I would ask you, give me some examples of your needy behavior. That could mean 20 different things. which is something I've reflected on and things she said in the past. Okay? Is that the only problem? Here's the thing. You've been 7 months no contact, so you've proven that you're a little less needy by being in no contact, so give yourself a pat on the back for that one. But the fact that you've reflected on it isn't really going to be able to be proven to her. So she's not going to go, oh, you know what? It's been 7 months. You seem less needy than you used to be. So he writes, I'd really appreciate any and all help. There's not a lot of information I can help you with here. Right? If you think you're going to reach out to her and go, I'm not needy anymore and I really miss you, go for it. Odds are probably going to be against that working, but I don't know. You haven't really given me any other information here. And I like this. We have been split for around 7 months. That's instead of using the word breakup.
It's a split.
Yeah, we're split up. We're split up, meaning like we can get back together.
I think we need a call in from this guy.
That'd be great.
Get some more info.
By the way, anyone that wants to call in, we can do that. We can work on your situation.
Whoever wrote this in, you can come on today or you can reach out to us.
Oh my
we'll set it up.
goodness. Details are important.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what you have to keep in mind, you're writing this story. I really miss her. I really want her back. That's outstanding. It's a little bit, in some ways, needy. But on the other side of it, it's like, it doesn't mean it's going to change the dynamic because you come to your senses and realize that. If you have a needy behavior that's been repeated in the relationship over 2 years, you can't just stop being that way because you just go, yeah, I'm going to be more masculine. Yeah, I'm going to be tougher. I'm going to be a Navy SEAL or a Hell's Angel in a day. We have a Hell's Angel starter kit. You don't actually have to be a Hell's Angel. You know what I mean? It's like amount of people now that I just got off a coaching call a day ago, and the guy kept bringing up masculine, feminine, masculine. Well, I'm in my masculine. She's in her feminine. I'm in my feminine. She's in her. And I was like, you've been watching a lot of videos on this, huh? It's like, did anyone do this in the 1920s? Hey, I'm being too masculine. I'm being too feminine. Would they even bring that up in the 80s? I don't know. It's like when that gets in your head, you're definitely not being masculine.
No.
Right?
No.
When you're observing that. And it was interesting because this guy, the woman he was dating was masculine. She owned a business, a huge business, made a lot of money, was a boss.
Had a lot of people under her, yes.
Yeah. And it was just your classic case where I don't think you're really going to change that. But if you're getting blamed for being feminine, I think that's the only spot you could fill with a woman like that. And guess what? I've always said, if you want to be that guy, go ahead and be that guy.
If you're
don't
cool
complain about it.
If you're cool with it,
sure.
Go.
Let her be on top. Sam Lujan, Happy New Year. Brian Union, always a pleasure. I hope you're doing better this year. Rob IS, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I keep missing it. I don't know if it got it tonight. 100 likes is a bit much. Maybe instead of saying he's not needy anymore, he can demonstrate without verbal instruction, not needy anymore. I meant most guys that try to turn it around have no idea the proper way to facilitate the process. Well, like I've said many a time, and is you get typecasted by your friends, family, and colleagues, and especially by your partner. And if they think you're cheap and you suddenly go, hey, I got the bill. They're like,
what?
What's you never get the bill. What is this? It's like, well, I decided, I'm going to get the bill today. I'm going to, yeah, because this is the cheapest place that we can go to. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if someone has it in their head that you're a certain way, they get really uncomfortable when you start to change.
Do you kind of have to weather that then for a little while? Like to show that you...
The unfortunate part about it is when you especially guys, because a woman will bring up something like that, and then they feel like, well, I can't win when I do go against that.
Right.
Yet, and then you just get pigeonholed over and over again. It's like, oh, you don't make an effort for dating. And then the guy's like, all right, I booked a table at Romeo and Juliet's, and I got all this stuff going on. She's like, oh, what's this about? What's this for? Really? You never do this. What is? It's like, I wanted to, try, and then the guy has to explain himself and do all this. I've had it many times. A woman's dug. I'm like, I know who you are. I know what you're about. So it's an uphill battle.
You just can't break it. Yeah.
All right, 2 stories on deck. We got 7 on deck. Please throw some likes, some subscribes my way, or not, or super chat. And like I said, in the new live stream format for 2023, we will have this available. So people that want to step in for a bit can. I would like it when you step in, you got some relationship issue you want to talk about, or if you got a problem.
Any problem.
You got a problem at work or something like that. But if you just want to hop on, just be like, hey, what's up, Mac? What's going on? We need to talk about some things. We need some drama, some humor, some other things, right? We had a lady a couple days ago that came on. I was still sick a little bit.
Really nice.
Yeah. Very.
Seemed down to earth. Really nice.
Yeah. Shared a lot.
Yeah, I definitely shared a lot.
Shared a lot. So I would definitely like to incorporate this more often. All right. So let me get into the first story here. Coach Mac, I broke up with my ex-boyfriend 2 days ago. I'm 25 and he's 32. Thanks for giving that age frame. 25, we were together for 2 long years. Why were they long would be my question. We broke up twice this past year. That's a red flag. He caught me seeing another guy, which was a platonic relationship, but I admitted that I knew the guy liked me.
Okay.
What do you do with that, B? I'm just curious on your end.
You mean for what perspective? If I'm...
Yeah, just if you were in that situation, what would be your reaction?
I mean, we'd have to have a sit down and say, like, what's going on here? I want to find out, but I wouldn't just let it go.
You could also say, next time invite me.
There you go.
I mean, if it's a platonic relationship, I shouldn't have to ask you that.
Right.
I've had a couple girlfriends that are like, oh, it's something through work or school. And they're like, come with me. I'm like, why do you want me to come with you? I want you to come with me. We're supposed to have a study group, this or that. And I'm like, all right. Looking back, that's highly respectable to your boyfriend.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's putting that other guy in a frame like, this is my boyfriend. Mm-hmm. This is the king. This is the guy that I spend my real time with. But if you want to hang out sometime and chat, cool. I'll admit I like the extra attention from guy friends. At least you're being honest. At 25. I know some like me, and actually he was a guy friend before we became official. Okay, so I remember I had another client like this. She was a doctor, I believe in Germany. Had a lot of stuff going for her, highly independent. And she's basically told me I like orbiters or guy friends. Right. And she's like, I know they like me. She liked playing them. Just for the attention.
Right.
So this is a thing. I don't know what the label would be. Is there a label for this? Because they call it orbiters. What would be the label for females that like
orbiters?
Guy friends. And really, it's a way that you're lining up options beyond just the attention. You think you're not, but you're like, the minute we break up, I have options. But a strong guy will just not put up with that long term. I feel like we are soulmates and that we were meant to be together, but he said he just can't trust me anymore. Oh, surprise, surprise. I'm in a platonic relationship with a guy I knew liked me. Okay. I agreed, and then I broke up with him. So I feel like we are soulmates. And then you break up with him.
You break up.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful. I didn't know this was part of the soulmate storyline. If I have to guess where this is going in this story, I was hoping he would fight for me.
Right, but it just didn't work out.
This is because you haven't been on this space long enough, B, to see the narratives. It's like, that's one of those ones where I'm like, oh, God. Wow, is Leonardo DiCaprio going to come in the scene at some point, too? I feel like we were soulmates, that we were meant to be together, but he said he just can't trust me anymore. I agreed, and then I broke up with him, and he cried and said we can maybe work it out and just take a break. But I told him he deserves better. Now, whenever someone goes, you deserve better, really, to me, what they're saying is, I can do better. Now, that's projection 101. I know some people are like, wait, what do you mean? I'm saying that they feel like they could also do better. That's why they say a statement like that. Then I left his house. Now, 2 days later, I can't stop thinking about it. And he hasn't called me or texted me, which has seriously surprised me because I got all these guy friends jocking me. Why wouldn't my ex-boyfriend of 2 days, who I broke up with, even though he was a soulmate, why wouldn't he call me?
Right.
Well, newsflash. Sometimes when people break up, they go, I'm done. You rejected him. He made an effort. You were the one that technically did some wrong shit. I'm wondering, is this really it? I can't believe he hasn't fought for the relationship more. Ding, 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 ding. This is the big one. Why would he fight for a relationship when he said at the breakup, this is why it's so great that you wrote this out so you could see your own words. He said, hey, maybe we could work this out. I don't think taking a break's a good idea, but he's crying. And you go, you deserve better. So he's supposed to fight after that? No, I don't deserve better. No, Rose. No, Rose. Don't go. That's what he's supposed to do? It's possible.
Is that the Titanic?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Right?
Right.
I can't believe he hasn't fought for the relationship more. Now this weekend coming, that guy friend has already asked me out for dinner and he's aware that we broke up. Of course he is. It's been 2 days.
Yep.
This is why you got another guy lined up.
Exactly.
That's a friend. And he's here for me and he'd be okay. And he said he'd be okay to be the shoulder to cry on. What a weasel, man.
Just waiting for the right time.
What a wimp. He also said I deserve better. Oh, so you deserve better too?
Right.
Wow, what a narrative we're running here.
There we go.
And this guy really has a lot going for him. But my boyfriend was the first man I truly loved. Also a soulmate.
That you just let go in 2 seconds.
And I ruined that with my attention seeking. So I would say you need to work on this attention seeking and see where it's coming from. I'm a really bad flirt, but honestly, I don't cross the line. Well, I mean, okay, you didn't cross the line. You have a platonic guy. I'll believe you.
Who's lying? Though?
No, I'll believe that he's a platonic guy and that you're going out with him, right? But what you're doing is you're just creating a backup plan. And you just prove that because you already got a freaking date with the guy on the weekend. And you're like, oh, it's just not the same. But he did, like, you're playing him. Now, at 25 years old, at the peak of your womanhood, go for it. This kind of game that you're running, it ain't going to last. It's going to be an expiration date on that. But honestly, I don't cross the line. How can I overcome all of this? Start telling the truth to yourself would be one. Is there a way to work things out with my ex? Well, you're the one that broke up with him, so he doesn't technically need a fight for you. You need to come up and say, hey, how about this? Be vulnerable and honest and go, I was wrong. I'm sorry. One time. I'm thinking about it. I believe we're soulmates, even though that's not my thing to say. That's you. That's your feeling. And I can see where you're coming from about these guys and, these platonic friends or whatnot. You broke up with him. And when you make a statement like, oh, you deserve better, don't expect him to fight for you. So you're going to need to step up and actually show him that you want him back. And if he's got any sort of balls on him, he's going to make you work for it. He's not going to just go, okay, Rose. All right. Well, I've been waiting for your call. Let's go watch the sunset. I think everything's going to work out. I think it's just going to be okay. No, not really. It's like you broke up with him. You're hanging out with guy. And that's the thing. If your boyfriend's like, oh yeah, in your line of work or your personality, you have these guy friends, but you're being honest with yourself. You're like, I know the guy likes me. I know the guy likes me. I know a woman recently that told me she's engaged. Right? And she's like, why did all the guys that are my friends stop talking to me? They stopped following because she did like an announcement about engagement. Yeah. And I was like, obviously they weren't just friends.
They stopped following her.
He's like,
Okay.
and they were just like, oh, they just kind of fell off. And I'm like, well, I mean, take it as respect for the guy that wants to marry you.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, but we've just been friends. Really? Okay. I do believe 100%, 1,000% of my own life, you can't be friends with a woman. You can't be friends with a man. I do believe that. You can be attracted to your friend, but you only know the answer of what's true or not true. Don't let anyone else define that for you, but you're defining it like, I know he likes me. So what are you doing? You're just giving him a little pet, a little cat paw. Oh, yeah, let me just play with him. Listen, that's fun right now. You're 25. Wait till someone does that to you. What goes around comes around. Guys will do it.
Sure they will.
Guys will do it. For sure. For sure. Miguel, what's up? Happy New Year's. Man, cheating sucks, especially after you see how it hurts the person and break their trust. Don't do it, guys. Worst decision of my life so far. Well, guess what? If that's the worst decision, you're okay. Right? Cheating's not good, etc., but you got to forgive yourself. You got to move forward, move on, and be you and learn from it. That's all. People have done a lot worse things in the world. Her subconscious will hate it if he fights for... B is awesome and needs to make his own channel. Come on, man. Let's just...
I'm in. Let's do it.
Let's just... Come on.
Pump
all
the
right?
brakes.
The guy's got a big enough ego. Barely get in the door. He's like, let me in. Come on, man. Sorry, there's no more cameras available. Shoulder to cry on, that's mega weak. He's a really bad flirt. Well, that's obvious. What's up, Justin Brown?
Justin, what's up, man?
2023. Rye Flint says, we get a B reveal? No, we're going to save it all year. First, we need a Rye Flint reveal? On the... You can go ahead and join right now.
It'll happen sometime. I don't know when, but...
B is cooler than Coach Mac?
That's what I've been saying for a long time.
Well, to each their own. To each their own. The truth is I taught him everything he knows. So, all right, we got one more story. And this one's pretty crazy, actually. I reviewed this one.
Did you?
I take a look at it. It's a good one. We got 9 on deck. Got 9 on deck. Hey, Coach Mac, I had the worst New Year's Eve breakup in the history of breakups. Well, you know what? I don't think you know all about every breakup, so you don't want to take that podium. Okay, so this is where I tell people, like, I like people that are funny, but if you're serious right now, you're not helping your situation. You're just making it worse. But thanks for sending it in. It's great content. My girlfriend and I went to a fancy hotel, did the whole 9 yards, the buffet, the champagne. There was a live band, and it was an epic setting. But there was what seemed to be a bachelor party there. That's kind of weird that there would be a bachelor party on New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah. It is.
Maybe this guy is being facetious or sarcastic, but okay, I get the picture of what a bachelor party would be. And it's possible. I guess it's possible to have a New Year's Eve bachelor party. It's like, yeah, bro, let's do it on New Year's Eve. I'm not sure how that worked, but basically 10 extremely drunk guys were the table next to us. Wow, what worst case scenario with your lady in a New Year's Eve dress. Meat on the line, man. They were part of some row team or rugby league. Now I think you're joking around. All right, so I get a little bit of a... They were all athletic and obnoxious. A couple of the guys tried to approach my girl when we went to the bathroom. Not surprised, bro. I mean, just off the top of my head, I would have said, hey, can we move tables? Is it possible we can get another table maybe, over there or something? Maybe slide the guy a 50 or a hundo? Because that's a bad situation, yeah.
It's just going to get worse.
Because I'm just saying, if it's 10 obnoxious guys and they're all alone, man, little meat factory. A couple of the guys tried to approach my girl when I went to the bathroom. When I came back, she was blushing and asked, When I came back, she was blushing, and I asked what they asked her. She just laughed and said one of them asked if she wanted to party with some pills. Now the thing is, we are both in our early 30s, and I know she had a history of taking some pills and talks about those days fondly, but we've been together for 3 years. We both have good careers. We have a dog. We share bills. We go to each other's families for dinner. We are pretty much married. Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you got the American dream, just missing the white picket fence, man, and the mortgage. So what happens at about 11 p.m., I noticed a change in her behavior, and she said she was feeling really hot. She started downing white wine, and then she danced with a couple of the guys. I might even say dirty danced, as they were grabbing on her love handles and grinding. Oh,
no.
Have you seen the movie Dirty Dancing, or was that before your time with Patrick Swayze?
You know what? I think I have, but
have you ever danced like that?
I can't remember, to be honest. I know there's a famous.
When I was in high school or even middle school, when we had dances, we would call that freaking.
Oh yeah, that's what. Yeah, we would say that. Yeah. That was like a hip hop term.
So I'll get back. I might even say dirty dance as they were grabbing on our love handles and grinding. I didn't know what to do. Obviously, you were intimidated. I could hear the guys cracking jokes about it. When she came over to the table, she said she did take something. I demanded we go home, and it was about 11:50 at that point. What worse timing?
Wait, so he was just sitting there watching this?
He says, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
I could hear the guys cracking jokes about it. When she came over to the table, she said she did take something. I demanded we go home, and it was about 11:50 p.m. at that point. And a lot of the people were drunk, including her. And I'll admit, I was somewhat drunk, but this experience was sobering. Great way to put it. Isn't that funny how things can sober you up?
Mm-hmm.
She started to yell at me. I'm not going anywhere. So she makes a scene at a public event. Wow. Just gets thicker. So I stuck it out. And about 5 minutes before the clock struck midnight, she got up and danced with the same guy again. And they actually played Tongue Twister on the dance floor. Jesus. I stepped in and grabbed her, and then the guy grabbed me and pushed me back. Then security broke it up, and I lost track of her. I looked around for an hour. Jesus. Then finally around 2 a.m., I found her in the lobby with her hair all ruffled up. I don't even know what that means, but I can get an idea. And she started calling me names and saying I was so weak that I let her dance with that guy. She couldn't explain where she was, so I took her home, and the next day she told me that she did hook up with one of the guys, but they didn't have intercourse. I haven't seen intercourse written in a long time. But they did some other things, and she said it's better off we don't go there. Better off for you or her?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing, because it's kind of like, do you really want to know?
Mm-hmm.
Would you really want to know?
I mean, if you're in a serious relationship, how far did you? I mean, it was already too far.
Would you rather just get lied to and be like, we kissed? What about your hair? Oh, he grabbed my hair a little bit.
Oh man, this is this is bad. I don't know.
Okay, so just to recap, but they did some other things, and she said it's better off we don't go there and just forget the night ever happened. Could you forget that? She's one thing I will say, if you're together, I don't know how long it says you used.
A few years.
If you were together for I think it was 3 years.
Yeah.
If you were together for 3 years and this is the first time something like this has happened, I'm not saying to just let it go, but getting drunk and she was intoxicated on some pills, extracurricular stuff,
whatever, yeah.
Right?
Right.
This could be a mistake. Some people, people don't make mistakes. It's character. If she's never done anything like this in 3 years, don't take her to another New Year's party or anywhere else where there's going to, but at the same time, maybe you give her one pass, not right away. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, it's just fine, this or that,
But she didn't even sound like she was
remorseful.
So
yeah, she's probably still half
right
in the bag.
Yeah, true. true.
I'm not defending her. I'm
Right,
just saying that if you do want to forgive her, first offense.
But she's got to show some.
Oh yeah, remorse.
Yeah, she's got to.
She said sorry, and the next day she told me she'd give me a hall pass to hook up with another woman next New Year's, and that we could be even.
Does that ever work? Do you think that really works?
I think at first he probably would say, "Oh, no." Then he'd think like when he's like, "Wait a minute, are you going to find the girl or do I find the girl?"
What game
does it have to be New Year's or does it like you'll start like when he starts
playing with the idea?
Has a couple of years ago. Wait a minute,
I still got that pass here.
Your single friend Susie, would that be one that would be okay? You know, it's like I mean, I give her points for outside the box thinking if she's being sincere. Now, that being said, that kind of opens up a can of worms. In the sense that, like, so where do we go from here? Are we just gonna have an open relationship? Because it's what
I'm saying, like, what's
it's like Indecent Proposal, right? With Demi Moore. It's like, where do you go from here? You ever see that movie?
I don't think so.
God, man, he's only like 5 years younger than me, and I feel like it's 20 years when you mention a movie from the 80s. It's like, oh, there's a 90s, but
I've seen a lot of movies. All right,
Indecent Proposal was basically like, I'll give you $1 million to sleep with your wife.
Dude, I have seen this one. It's I know I have seen this.
It'd be an easy decision for me. I'd say no problem, man.
Who's the husband in that movie? Do you remember?
Robert Redford and
yeah.
Might have been Woody Harrelson.
Really rich guy.
He's like, I'd take the bill. Don't even try to play it off either. You'd be like, you know what?
Right.
Just make sure you don't film anything. I don't want to know about it. I don't want to know about the details. But hun, take one for the team. He's like, no, I don't think I would. No, I don't think it's $1 million clean. I would never. I would never approve that. All right. She said sorry the next day. She told me that she'd give me a hall pass to hook up with another woman next year. New Year's Eve, we could be even. So she does want to make up. She does want to be fair. I'm not sure what to make of that, but right now I'm still in shock a bit. So I would just say, is that a joke? Or is that like sincere? Because like I said, you might originally bat that down, but as a man, you might go, wait a minute.
Wait a second. What am I getting here?
Right? I know she was intoxicated, but I feel so embarrassed as I forgot to mention my brother and his wife were there too. Oh, isn't it funny how much worse it is when you're embarrassed by a friend or family member in a situation like that? It does make it worse.
Right.
Because the brother's like, geez, man, you're going to stay with her? What are you going to tell your brother and your brother's wife? Like, well, she gave me a hall pass next year to bang someone else out, right? No worries.
Do you disclose that?
I'm currently just thinking of moving to my brother's for a week or two. What's your thoughts on this? Well, you got some things to think about.
Definitely.
With the hall pass idea. I don't think that you're a jerk if you choose to forgive her on this. It would be a very hard thing to do. You got to decide your own morals and values and what your rules are. But if you are going to forgive her, it might take you a week or 2 weeks to digest it. I would definitely book a live coaching session, do some EFT, maybe do some hypnosis to relax you about it. This is one of those things you have to think, is this in her character or did she make a bad mistake?
Yeah, was this the first time something like this happened? Not to this degree, but even,
it's like someone can get a drunk driving and never get one again and go, I'll never drink and drive again. There's some people that quit drinking after getting a drunk driving. Yeah. So her reaction is, she doesn't want to share those things to hurt you, but she didn't have I mean, what do you believe from it? She actually talked to you about it. She was more than intoxicated. It was a bad situation. Is that something that you believe can happen again that's in her character? Those are the main things. If she was totally nonchalant about it and surprisingly, she didn't just blame alcohol. She's like, it's just a mistake. So he writes, I don't want to break up. How do I get over this? It's going to take you some time. I think that if you went for a week at your brother's and just said, I just need some time to cool down, I think that wouldn't be a bad move. And also, I mean, are you going to pursue the hall pass? Or are you going to, what you got to think about, what would it take? What would it take for you to forgive her? And if you're like, nothing, maybe you take 2 weeks at your brother's, but you got to figure it out. Because when someone's sorry in a relationship and she told the truth, You have a choice. You don't have to forgive her. You don't have to. There's no rule against that. You could say like, oh, nope, no way, Jose. I'm not forgiving her for that. Never again. Or you could say, wow, that was a mistake. The problem is for guys is you saw the guy too. It's kind of different when you're like, that guy, which one was it out of the 10? That could be tough. It could take you some time. But if you don't want to break up and you know that right now, you don't have to just drop your arms down and forgive her, but figure out what it's going to take. And also just ask yourself, is this character or is this just a mistake due to environment and consumption of alcohol, which is possible.
Yep.
Which is very possible. Some people are like, oh no, that's not a mistake. It's like, well, that's why like events like this, people think, oh, it's great to, like it's great to do these public events with your girlfriend and get wasted. Put yourself in an uncomfortable position.
Can happen.
B, have you ever, do you want to share that story about the concert?
Oh.
Was that a friend of a friend or?
What? No, we... we'd been seeing each other.
Okay, so he's gonna be honest.
Yeah,
it was his story. He's gonna be straight up. That's why he doesn't want the camera on him.
No, it's not. No. We'd been seeing each other for a little bit, and I don't know. We had maybe like a little fight or something. Like things weren't going great, but we had bought these tickets, and we were gonna go see this, these bands and whatever. So we are just like, all right, let's go, whatever. And went with another friend, and it was cool, but a little bit awkward because we were kind of fighting. But
you and the girl were fighting.
Yeah, a little bit
before the concert, like right before or days before?
Days before. But we'd already purchased the tickets.
And you were officially together or not officially together?
Yeah, we'd been seeing each other for probably 3 months, I'm gonna say.
What were you fighting over?
I honestly can't remember. This was
give me a break.
I honestly don't know. I honestly can't remember. Just probably some stupid stuff.
Tacky shit. How old were you?
18.
Oh goodness!
Yeah, so this is
wow, man. This might have been the last century.
So yeah, we were having fun. Like we were drinking. I think my friend had a fake ID, and we just got pretty plastered. But she'd gone off to go do her own thing for a little bit, and we were just watching some bands or whatever. And she, how they have those booths, like a bunch of random booths set up for different, like they'll have. I
don't go to the same concerts you do, but go ahead.
So one of them was you could get your breasts painted.
Breast.
You could get your breasts, like spray painted or whatever. And she came back fully spray painted
with no shirt on.
No shirt on. And I was a little bit shocked, to say the least. Just because I never thought she would do.
Because B was like, I thought I was special. I thought I was the only one that could see those.
I was just like, I never thought she would do this. And maybe it's because we were drinking. I have no idea, but I was a little bit shocked. And yeah, so we had to sit there we all stayed still, like my friend and I. But
were your buddies like, nice, B? Like, nice, B?
I think they were awkward too, because they I think for them it was awkward because we were all kind of.
Take a look at those cans.
Yeah, so I was like, what the fuck?
Your girlfriend shows back up with your buddies with no shirt on, and
I think to be honest, if I'm thinking about it, like why we were fighting was I was hanging out with another girl that it was kind of contentious. It was a little bit of a bad situation, and I don't know, she was jealous or something. I don't know, something. And
so she's like, I know how to get you back. I'll go topless around your buddies.
So I don't know if it was like
Did you guys hook up after that?
Yes, but I think it wasn't for a while. It took a little bit of time.
It sounds raunch, man.
Yeah.
Well, at least you didn't lose her in the crowd.
No, but
there was a guy recently, I've talked about this in the live stream, that was a client that did a live coaching, and yeah, he said basically they were at a concert and the girlfriend got drunk. Newsflash, if you go somewhere like a concert or those things and you want like, oh, we're going to get pregame, we're going to get wrecked. It's like you're putting yourself in a bad position with women.
It's a bad spot.
Right?
It's not all the time, but I mean.
Not all the time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
especially if your girlfriend's slightly flirtatious. And he said in front of him, she was like talking to a guy, and then she was like, "Oh, here's my number. Call me some." And he was like, "What the?" And he was there, like the dude was in his 40s, so he had a daughter that was like 18, and he said his daughter was there and witnessed it.
Oh wow!
So it was like embarrassing too. And he said he just like continued with the concert for a little bit on the way out, and then they got in the car, and he's like, "We're done. You can get all your stuff out." He was like really serious about it, and she was like, "What? Like she forgot. What do you mean? I didn't give him my number." I was like, it was right in front of me.
Right.
Like he was on the peripheral of it. Yeah. Man, that's brutal. It happens. Someone will be like, "Oh, that's what women do. They don't care, this and that." Let's see here. All right. Today was an awesome day. Spent time with family, and it was my dad's. Oh, congratulations, Miguel. That's cool, man. That's really good. Your dad's birthday's in early January, huh? I got mine in a month. Get ready.
You got yours coming up.
I got mine in a month, February 1st. On New Year's Eve, my ex-girlfriend sent me an old picture of us. I was like, okay. And then you sent a picture of yourself, and you were like, okay.
Okay.
Happy New Year. We got a full house today. 10 people, so on. Will be 100, then 1,000, then 10,000. Okay.
Wait.
She dirty.
Wait.
What?
Rye's birthday is on February 1st?
No. Miguel Coronado's dad, I think, is January 2nd.
Rye.
She said her birthday is February 1st? No way, Jose. Yep, I'm a February 1st. I've only met one other February 1st. And they're a superstar. So, I mean, I'm February 1st, 81.
We got 91.
Year of the monkey. According to my
makes sense.
According to my Chinese friends.
It's all coming together.
I'm a metal monkey. Wow, 91.
It's all coming together.
Year of the dragon, maybe? Tiger? I don't know, 91. 91, so you're 30. You're going to be 33, right? No, 32. 32 is a great age, man. Congratulations, Rye Flint. Trudy Short, she gives me a free pass to absolve her of her own guilt and then realized she was hurt by him being with another woman. Counterintuitive. What a hot mess. You know what? Good work for some people. Year of the Bulls.
There you go. So it's a bowl. We'll just say it's a bowl.
1991, year of the Bulls win. You mean the Chicago Bulls? Oh, yeah. Sure. Yeah. Actually, that's when I went to Bill Cartwright camp. It's like, who's Bill Cartwright? He was the center on the Bulls. No one knows who that is. It was just Jordan and Pippen.
Well, now, yeah.
Who's Bill Cartwright? He was on the 91 Bills. Da, boss. Boss.
Isn't that the Bears?
Would you do that though if you had a girlfriend or a wife that was like, you can have a hall pass 2 times a year? There was an NBA player. I don't know if you remember Andrei Kurilenko.
Yeah, of course.
The Russian dude. They used to call him AK-47.
There you go.
And
he had
what a name, huh?
Yeah.
And I've seen him play live. Yeah, and he was interviewed in one of those basketball magazines when I used to read them, like Slam or one of those. And his wife was like, he gets a hall pass once a year. And I was thinking, probably not enough as an NBA player.
How many has he taken for himself already? Jeez.
Bill Cartwright was a center with a really bad formed shot. He went to USF, actually. What he needs to know is what exactly happened between the guy. How far did that go? I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't know if you want to know. Her hair was ruffled up. She was missing. She might not remember.
But I mean,
would you really? I would say most guys would be like, I want to know.
But if that's his line, though, like if you just were kissing or whatever, like to him, if that's his line to cross, like, oh, you fucked around.
I think it was. I think that the fact that she disappeared for an hour, her hair was a little messed up and she didn't want to go into details.
Put the
I don't. And then
together.
she's offering this on the table. Like, go ahead and do it. It's eye for an eye.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if
what would make it right though. What would like if you really look at it and you're like, how do I get through this? I don't want to break up. It would be different for different people, but just putting B on the spot because he's got this massive amount of experiences in various relationships. The rifling's a lot can go down in an hour. That's true, actually. That's a good statement.
Exactly. So what is the line?
I remember this guy when I was in college, like my college roommates, it was a friend of a friend. And this guy was like, he was cool, but he had a big ego, right? Like he'd always talk about himself. I remember he was like, dude, I was smashing my girl for 3 hours straight. And I was like, get out of here, dude. Like, I swear to God. I swear to God. He was like, we were like having, like, yeah. Wow. And I was like, 3 hours? I'm like, really? And he's like, oh, dude, I don't swear to God. Swear to God. You're just like, that's a long time, man.
Okay. It's a long time. Jesus.
I mean, it's certainly possible, but 3 hours, dude, I swear. I'm like, were you timing yourself? Yeah. I just, maybe in your head you thought you were going 3 hours, but when you really, if you really think about it and you get intimate and then you look at the clock afterwards and you're like, oh, that seemed like 2 hours, but it was about 30 minutes. You know what I mean? It was 45 minutes of actual real work being put in. But getting back to the topic, anyone, if you were in this situation, Rob S., Justin Brown, Rye Flint, like, how would you get over, like, if that was a New Year's Eve thing, because I've already given my take, I would basically say,
give it time. You said give it time.
Give it time, but also, is this in her character? Is this something that you're like, wow, she just made a mistake? Like, or is she like, oh, I want to start doing this more often and going out and opening up the relationship, where she's really sorry and she's like, I messed up and I put myself in a bad situation?
No, I definitely agree with what you said. I think in the heat of the moment, you're probably like done. Like, this is, for most people, it'd be like, no. But then if you give it some time and you maybe think about exactly how it went down, maybe you would change your mind. So yeah, give it a couple weeks.
You know what's the ironic thing is the amount of clients I've had though that like, or women I've talked to too, that sometimes guys actually have requested that their girl hook up with other guys, like swingers, in front of them. So I mean, there's guys out there that are shockingly like whatever about that.
They just have different kinks or whatever.
Yeah, that's the word, huh?
Right?
Kink,
like,
huh?
Yeah, I guess there's a lot of people with a lot of different things.
Next time, let me know. I'll be in the bushes and I'll watch whatever you're doing.
Be in the bushes. Yeah, okay.
Would you take the hall pass?
I don't think that's a great situation.
It's kind of a loaded. It's
like,
kind of like, it's
dude.
like, are you serious?
Right, and then.
And do I have to approve who it is? Like, how do we go through the approval of it?
Because that's kind of like an open relationship, right?
She's saying just, you can get me back. 3 hours is a marathon. And there's someone out there like, oh, dude, I've done 3 hours many times. You know what I mean, too, right? Like,
they just got...
you never done 3 hours? It's like, I don't know. I haven't kept track, but...
I don't think I have a 3 hour.
You know what I mean, though? There's someone out, oh, dude, I did 24 hours.
They'll just try to one up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, swear to God, dude. It's like, okay, I believe you. It's fine. You serious?
Yeah, Rob, yes. 3 hours is a workout.
I couldn't. She could be trusted to go out with her friends. I couldn't. She couldn't be trusted to go out with her friend. At 3 hours, the guy probably is a regular Viagra user. Could be. I know a guy that was like, he takes 3.
Popping them?
He takes 3 regularly, and he's like, I could break a window. I was like, he goes, don't judge me. I was like, I'm just asking, is that normal to take 3 of those? He's like, he goes, it's just one less thing to worry about. I was like, it's true.
I guess that's true.
Could be. I'm not well versed on that, but I mean, when he first told me though, like I said, I was like, "What? Really?" He's like, "It's imperative that he knows exact details of what she did and how she did it." I don't think she's gonna tell him the truth. Right, would you really want to know the details?
What I'm saying is, though,
what if she's like, actually, when I look back, I don't remember everything? That's even a worse answer.
Yeah, that might be, because then your mind's like racing. Like, well, what did you do? What did you do? Man.
I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't want to dig too much on it. You might just be. Is that
a line for you though? Like, would that
for me personally?
For you personally, would that be something?
I couldn't even imagine it happening to me. I just don't date women like that, little scum. I've never been in a relationship with a woman that would do that. Right? So now I say that and it'll happen, and you'll be like, dude, you want to tell everyone now? Right? Mm-hmm. But like I said in the beginning of this live stream, I did have a friend that his girlfriend, who was a bad alcoholic, because this girl I knew as a friend of,
right,
his girlfriend, she was a bad alcoholic. And it's funny because when you're in your 20s, you don't ever call people alcoholics. She's like, oh, so and so drinks a lot. It's not until like 30 or 40 you're like, fucking guy's an alcoholic. It's like, but like someone like 23. He can drink.
Oh, yeah, I look back now.
She kind of drinks a lot, right? You know what I mean? It's like looking back, we were in our 20s, and I was like, she was drinking to get drunk, but she also would drink like alone. That's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Or they would just go out to dinner and she'd get fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like
just by herself. Yeah, that's not.
And the weird thing was, like, this friend of mine, I didn't go to high school with, but his high school buddies were like, the girl that he ended up with didn't have a good reputation. This girl, like, let's just say, was a loose goose. So, like I said, he was with her for like a year and a half, and he knew that about her. Mm-hmm. It was a weird situation, but he caught her at a wedding where she ended up going home with another guy.
From the wedding.
Yeah, dude. And it was there's family and different people there. She just was drunk, and he saw her coming out of the house the next day. Like, he tailed her.
Oh yeah, I think
told you that story. Yeah. So. And I was like, he told me the next day everything that happened. I was like, wow. Like, and you followed her? He's like, yeah. And I didn't say anything, and I asked, like, this is what people do all the time. He had all the evidence. Right. Instead of confronting her or doing anything, he waited like till the afternoon. He was like, where were you last night? Oh, I got home okay. I'm sorry. He's like, he asked her more and more questions. It was fine. Like, you're lying.
Kept digging deeper.
And she just like wilted into crying, he said, and like, oh my God, we didn't do anything. We just talked all night. Yeah, okay. See, like, that's the funny thing is like, people in relationships will believe a lie like that though.
Yeah, you kind of want to believe it or something.
Right. You're like, dude, actually they were just talking.
Mm-hmm. I believe her. Because I want to believe her.
We talked all night, yeah. Mm-hmm. Played cards.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Played some Uno. I just didn't know what to do when I didn't see you.
So I went with another guy.
Don't take Viagra with Red Bull. It could kill a person. I'll tell you what, Rob, I believe you.
It could kill a person?
I believe you. I don't really like Red Bull.
I've got one right here.
I don't really drink Red Bull. It's funny, when Red Bull first came out, which was a long time ago, I remember I was in a basketball league, and like a YMCA basketball league. Mm-hmm. So it's a mixed bag, right? So I'm not going to say
yeah, you got some 50-year-olds, you got some.
The league that I was in, I wouldn't say there was a lot of dudes in their 50s. It was competitive. Mm-hmm. It was competitive. I was in my early 20s. Mm-hmm. And I remember I had a half a Red Bull before the game. I got stopped at the gas station just as I was like, oh, I'll just get a little pick me up, right? And I didn't drink Red Bull often. And I remember off the jump ball, the jump ball was like a long.
It got batted.
Yeah, it got batted. Yeah. And I fucking dove into the stands and like saved the ball. And guy was like, fuck off the jump. I was like half a Red Bull, dude. Fucking could have done a commercial.
I got a halfer in me.
I remember he was like, what?
How old were you?
Probably like 22,
Okay.
23, somewhere around there. I played in that league for a few years.
Off the jump ball.
Off the jump ball, yeah. This guy was like, what?
Wow.
Like, wow.
That's intense. That is intense.
Red Bull is poison. A friend of mine used to. Did you ever have a Tic Tac? That was a Red Bull drink. I know there's Jaeger bombs, but I remember. Oh, I was deathly sick.
What's a Tic Tac?
Some kind of Red Bull with another liquor.
I've had like vodka Red Bulls.
What's a mixed drink? It's a
Never
mixed
had it.
drink.
I didn't even know there was something called a Tic Tac.
Yeah, I don't know what's in it. That chick was high, so I say no go.
Like a no-go situation. Done.
I don't know. I was hoping to see if we can get someone on that wants to come on and talk about their issues here, but we're about an hour in. Feels so good to be over the flu during Christmas. I couldn't even talk.
Feeling alive again.
I was losing my voice, man.
Did you do what did Sabina say? She said honey and hot water or something?
Done it all, man. Ginger.
The ginger?
Ginger, hot water with honey, ginger. Yeah. Did down plenty of those. It was wicked.
Yeah,
If she could do that so easy, what else could she
makes
do?
a good point.
Well,
I mean, that's a pretty far one to go down. Like to do that, I don't know. That's pretty.
I think the hardest thing as human beings, though, is if his brother was there. It's really hard to
see with
overcome
your
being
family,
embarrassed in front of your
yeah.
friends.
Family and friends.
Yeah, it's that's tough. When he's like, "Oh, my brother was there, by the way."
Because then,
and your brother in the back of his head's like, "Oh."
Right. Well, because then now your family is going to tell your other family, right?
I mean, worse things can be overcome,
For sure, but that's still really hard.
He knows right off the get-go, I don't want to break up over this. Like I said, first offense, like if you were keeping a rap sheet here and you're like, this is the first and only time we've had a problem, all right, maybe you can roll with it. I would say, though, partners that tend to drink a lot or do extracurricular activities
Opens the door a little.
Are more susceptible to behavior like this, and it's not by chance.
Well, it's the liquor, it's the environment.
Why would you wait? She's like, when I start dating and I'll come on with my problem. So you're saying when you'll start discussing your dates? It's funny because I was just telling B earlier, there was someone I was just talking to on a coaching session yesterday that's in her late 20s. And she's like, oh, all the guys right now, like the guys I'm dating, they're not good. They're this or that. And I was like, to be honest with you, because she was like, I want guys to chase me. I'm never going to chase any guys. I'm like, well, the ironic thing is, hon, all the dating books and all the dating advice for men is to make sure women chase them. So I don't know who's going to win.
What it's geared to? Like that's the.
Yeah. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm with that. I'm on that page. But if a woman's doing the same, she's like, because guys always chase me. I go in the beginning.
For sure.
But she was talking about a couple guys she didn't like, and then I was saying, to be honest with you, between you and I, I've done a few coaching sessions with her over the years, and I was like, honestly, the best way to have a guy chase you or a guy really into you is to have an outstanding intimacy. However you want to frame that. I haven't gone that route as a coach in that arena specifically. I've thought about putting together some Zoom courses because I have a few clients that are maestros.
Oh, okay.
Right? But I was like, guys tend to be the most attached when the intimacy is outstanding. Okay.
100%.
So I was like, lead with that. And she's like, well, the guy I was just dating, he doesn't really like intercourse. And I was like, what?
Wait, what?
And she's like, well, he takes a lot of drugs too. I was like,
there you
whoa.
go. Okay.
All right, well. And then she's like, oh, well, I think this, I think that. Then these guys that are like 40, and I'm like, what about those guys, right? What's wrong with them? When I started dating him, well, Go on some bad dates. What's holding you back from dating now, Flint? What information are you gathering at 32 in the prime of your life? Mm-hmm. Can you do a best Brad Browning impression? I love when you do them.
Hey guys, this is Brad Browning here, Breakup Brad. And if you guys want to come down to Breakup Brad's studio, there's going to be a special invite at the end of this video. So stay tuned. We'll get right back to that. Okay. If you really want your ex to come back, there's one secret method that you could do that could get them back within a week. Stay tuned for that also. Now, if you wanted to buy my book, Breakup Brad's Ways to Get Your Ex Back on Track, that's also available down below. Thank you.
This guy's got like 300,000 views, dude.
Is he always selling something?
Fucking you could sell a vacuum, dude. You could sell anything, man, with that kind of. You know what? I probably should do more of that.
Hey guys, Breakup Brad here. Hey Brad, do you talk like that to your friends when you hang out? Do you have that same tone with everyone? Hey guys, what's up? Dinner?
He brings the energy, okay? He brings it.
Fucking cheese whiz. Have you seen his videos?
Yeah, I think a couple.
He's popular, man. Like I said, he has the secrets.
If you guys stay tuned for another 5 minutes, I'll tell you the secret. I remember one of the big part was,
message your ex and ask her for directions to the beach you used to go to. It's like, oh,
and then maybe she'll have Google Maps,
and then she might go, why are you asking me for those directions? Oh, because I just remember when we used to go to the beach all the time, and that'll trigger her mind back to that moment, and then she'll come back to you. It's like, wow, I guess we're getting exes back that are idiots. It's like we have Google Maps. That was an early video that I did. People like that. I remember.
Really?
I did that a long time ago.
We have Google Maps.
Yeah, that was a suggestion.
Yeah.
Whatever. Like I said, one time long time ago when I first started doing live streams, someone was like, oh my God, you're making fun of Brad Browning. He's so good. He's that. I was like, all right, teach their own. No problem. Good for you.
Eduardo Martinez.
Nasally? I am nasally today. That's good.
No, I think that's just the Brad Browning impression.
Please don't.
Hey guys.
I mean, it's funny with the yard stream. You can pull up at one of his videos right away. Huh?
Just
see how good I did.
Mm-hmm. You are on point with your impressions. I will say that.
I've always been good with impressions. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. We can.
Because you're dead inside? No.
What's that?
I said I stopped dating because I think I'm dead inside.
Well, we need to talk about that.
We need to talk about that. I don't believe that at all.
Here you go. All right, we can.
I was trying to think of what he looked like, and I can't remember.
Hold on. Oh, here, yeah. The number one secret to getting your ex back by Brad Browning.
Hey guys, Brad here.
Hold on a sec. A little bit of makeup, a little makeup on the field. Okay.
Someone else.
A little makeup there. All right, man.
Is there?
All right, watch this. Very well done. With the
Ooh,
stock
the X Factor. He has a book.
Yeah, and with the stock photos. Look at that.
Okay.
Let's get this right. Tell me, guys, if I nailed this impression.
Video where I'll be teaching you how to get back together with your ex. I'm Brad Browning, relationship coach and best-selling author of the X Factor Guide. And for more advice on reversing your breakup and starting over with your ex, please visit my website at breakupbrad.com. Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you the single most important secret to winning back your ex. If you're not aware of the important tips I'm going to reveal in the next few minutes, then your chances of saving your relationship will be next to nil. And I know this because I've watched many of my clients ignore this advice and predictably throw away any shot of a second chance with their ex. So don't do that. Just trust the techniques that I'm going to share with you in this video will work and will give you the best possible chance of getting back together. So what is the number one secret to getting your ex back? What is it that separates those who fail and those who actually do build a new, healthy relationship with their ex? Well, the secret to winning your ex back is to fundamentally change the way your ex thinks about you and your relationship, to rewire their brain so that...
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Wow, I need to change my channel. I think I gotta go with some cheese whiz. All right, yeah, I did work at Nordstrom's in the early 20s. It was a great experience.
Nordstrom's.
Yeah, we used to call it Nordy's.
Mm-hmm. They
They
had a lot of high end stuff there, right?
Yeah, it was a great place to meet women too, and worked with a lot of. It was a big store, you know.
Yeah.
Whenever you do, like, if you're gonna work at a department store, which isn't like, oh my God, it's no one's fucking dream to do, but you're in college or you're whatever. Actually, Nordstrom has career people. It's actually a good company. They have 401k.
Are they still around?
Oh yeah, for sure. But you always want to work at, if you're in a department store, all right, we'll pick the best one. If you're going to sell real estate, pick the most expensive real estate. If you're going to be a waiter or a waitress, work at the most expensive restaurant because it's the same job. That's something I realized early. I taught that to my niece. I was like, don't just take job. Well, I'll just take this job. It's like, all right, someone told me about a restaurant job that's a friend. Instead of just taking that job because you somehow have an in, think to yourself, if I'm going to be a waiter or I'm going to be a waitress, what's the best place to get tips? It's the same job. It's the same job. So you always want to pick where the best environment or best place. So tired of beating yourself up? Give yourself a break, Holmes. 1,000,000 miles an hour dictation.
True.
Rifle likes that. I think they have a Nordstrom's in Vegas too.
In Vegas?
Why would you say you're dead inside? We need to unpack that a little bit. I think I'm dead inside. What would that mean to you, B? How would you interpret that?
Maybe she's gone through enough dates already or enough bad ones. I don't know.
You were hurt or you hurt someone else. I've noticed that women, when they've been hurt or they've hurt other guys, they're like, oh, this is how I am. Like a lot of times they have one or two relationships
and
where, okay, so I always get my heart broken, or they go, well, when I'm done, I just delete people. And then they make that their narrative and their storyline all the time. And it's like, no, that just happened once. That's not a good statement to make though, Rifle. I'm going to just step up in that.
I think she was just messing around.
Dead inside. Come on, man. What part of Australia are you in, Rye? It really does count where you're at. But I always tell people, it just takes one. Just takes one. Enough emotional damage to cause you to close off emotionally when meeting new. Melbourne. Wow. My neighbor across the street from me here in Phuket is from Melbourne. It's supposed to be beautiful there. That's supposed to be a great place for singles, I think.
Some nice golf courses there too. I'm gonna go check it out over there.
Enough emotional damage to cause you to close off emotionally when meeting new people. Well, let me help you with the emotional damage. Just reframe that. A lot of times emotional damage is something that you're looking at it in a rigid, narrow way that you could find some resources and some reasons that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Yeah, numb is a good one. Just you're numb to things.
I'll never date again. I'll never meet someone. Stop using the word never, please.
Don't use never.
Currently, I'm not in the market to date because I'm still hurting. But when I'm ready to get back on deck, I'll get back on deck.
Mm-hmm.
She gives him a free pass. Oh, that was earlier. Yeah, thirsty guys will see a vulnerable woman typically after a breakup, and they seem to swarm them and tell them sweet things just to get lucky.
Opportunist.
I guess that would happen at a workplace.
Yeah, when you get to like know
I've had
somebody.
clients that live in America that work in large work environments, and they said nowadays they really try not to date within the work environments because there's just too many situations where you might get accused of offending someone.
Yeah.
Lose your job. Because I think that would definitely happen at work.
Don't a lot of I'm assuming a lot of workplaces have like a no dating.
I don't know if
policy.
you can impose
do
that. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I know.
I certainly haven't been corporate. When I worked at Nordstrom's years ago, that wasn't the case.
Well, because there's a lot of
there was a lot of boyfriend girlfriends there,
but there's like a lot of power, dynamics. So, like if you're dating a boss or you know what I mean, like there.
That could be.
So,
I mean, I'm certainly. I don't know if they could restrict that in the States. I don't know. Maybe other places might not be encouraged.
You couldn't have that as a workplace policy. No dating.
I would say it's definitely a conflict of interest when there's marriage or a couple where it gives them more power.
Right. So
if there's a voting group or someone's a superior and then their husband's a little bit lesser. I've dealt with this before where you're like, wow, you're just riding the coattails of your wife. You know what I mean? It creates a big conflict of interest in that way. So that's certainly the case where it's like.
Plus, if you date at work too and things don't go great, it makes it kind of awkward.
I haven't had. I'm trying to think. I've had a couple times, where I've dated. Well, one time, asking about Nordstrom's, a girlfriend that I had that we both worked in the mall, right? It was a nice mall. And she worked at another, but we had knew each other prior to that. But she got a job like, I think within 2 or 3 months of us together at Nordstrom's, like the floor above me. I was like, damn.
Right in your.
It was just, you know, it's like every day for lunch, every day you come down. And it used to bug me because it was just, I'm at work now. I'm helping people. I don't.
So you had like your work and private life kind of separate.
And she was cool. She was a good girlfriend and everything, but she was a little bit clingy, a little bit. She was sweet though, looking like she was sweet. It was
just amplifies it even more when you're around her, all the time.
I think I was immature at the time too. I was a little embarrassed to have my girlfriend come around all the time. Where some guys are like, "Oh, this is so cool!" Like, hold on, hon. Right. It's like, oh, I got a job upstairs. Like, who? Well, did you gonna ask me first? Like, we gotta we're gonna carpool to work every time now. Yeah, come on, man. Some people think that's cool. I think it's like, give me some air. The hardest part is if you break up, like we did.
It makes it awkward.
Which I broke up with her, so it wasn't as hard, and we were young. But she didn't just start dating. There's some guy that I worked with that was like a stock guy or something, and he was going out with her right away, like going out with her to lunch in front of me. Maybe that was staged when I look back about it. Like, oh, I'm going to get his attention. He got my attention. Sure. It's funny how that works too. It's like, oh, I'm over this, I'm done. And then they're like, you're really going out with someone else? Like, what is this?
Right.
Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I saw her with da-da-da. You're like, okay, great. Really? At work? Now I wouldn't care. What do you guys think of my house here in the background?
I like the grand piano. Do you know how to play? It?
These are the kind of houses too, like in the background, they have there's no character. It's like Bed Bath and Beyond designed the house. There's no unique pieces of art or anything like that. It's staged. Like when I used to be in real estate, they'd had staged houses.
Well, dude, it's your house. I mean, do something then, you know?
I like my house better than that house. Whatever happened to that friend of yours who came by to visit when you worked at Walgreens? I never worked at Walgreens, but I did work at Long's. During your break, and your boss came out and saw you. Long's is now CVS.
They're all the same thing, pretty much, right?
Yeah, that was like when I was 17. Good memory. Look at Eduardo's got. He's got knowledge on everything. Yeah, busting out. It was a girl that I had dated before, actually, that we had went out, and I thought it was so cool. Yeah, I was. So I'll be back. I'm gonna go take my. You were only allowed a 10-minute break. You were supposed to clock out on. This is how old I am. They stamped the card.
Oh yeah, I've had those.
It was a stamped card, so it was like I was like, I'm never clocking out for 10 minutes. This is stupid, man. You got paid fucking $6.50 an hour, right? It's like, so I'm out in the car and I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. And the manager came out. That's a story to remember. I remember that. I got fired the next day.
Longs, is that what it was? Longs,
green vest. It was such a like a cheap store. It was a cool job because everyone that worked there was like in high school.
Chill. Yeah.
So we were friends, and a lot of the people went to, you know what I mean? It's all a young crowd. But I remember you could wear a polo shirt, you know, like any kind of polo shirt with a tie.
A polo with a tie?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the green vest.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Because they wanted you to wear a tie, and people would wear a polo shirt with a tie, which, I mean, it's kind of unheard of, right?
Mm-hmm. Get a clip-on tie.
It's pretty lazy. I could always do a tie because I was working in a men's department when I was 16 at a different department store.
What? Whoa! I didn't know. What
I had a few jobs when I was a kid, man. My dad required me to work
at 16. That the
I had a job when I was 11. When I was 10, 11, yeah, I was 10. I had a paper route for 3 years. When you went, they don't do it anymore, but door to door. You had to go door to door.
You just launched. You didn't launch the.
Yeah, no. It was on my. It was.
Were you on your bike launching the papers at people's doors?
Yeah, it was fun. Friends would come with me, and they would actually be like, "Can I throw the papers?" I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." Go for it. They'd help me wrap the papers and everything, but you'd have to go. The crazy thing is, this would never be done now. You'd go, and you'd get the money door to door.
Oh, you were the collector too, so you would collect the payments.
I was the last of the collectors, so you'd have to go door to door in a neighborhood.
Would you like breaking kneecaps if people didn't?
No, but there was a couple people that wouldn't answer the door, and it was like $7 for the month for the paper. And really, when I look back, the tips were like 50 cents, $1.
But that was probably a lot to, I mean, an 11-year-old.
I mean, there was one house that would give me $10. And I'm like, wow, I got 3. I mean, I made, this is crazy when you think about it, but it's 30 years ago, right?
That you could hire an 11-year-old to.
So you delivered the paper every day. And the paper, it was an afternoon paper. So morning papers are more difficult, but you deliver the paper every day. There was no day off. And I think I made $80 a month. But when you're 10 or 11, you're like, oh, that's nice. I got some extra cash, whatever. Isn't that a month? And maybe your tips were like $20.
What do you even spend? Would you buy like
for
baseball cards?
40 to 50 papers. Some people had bigger routes. I don't know what I would spend on that. You're like baseball card. Now you're stereotyping me. Now I'm uncomfortable. Now you're stereotyping. Oh, you're the baseball card type.
Wait. Did you have baseball cards?
I had I didn't.
There you go.
I had basketball cards.
Same thing.
I had a really cool bike. GT Interceptor.
I had Interceptor too. I swear to God, I was just gonna say Interceptor.
Don't try to copy, dude.
No brakes. It was
GT Interceptor. I actually bought one. I have one in my mom's garage. I have an Interceptor there.
You still have it?
Yeah. No, what happened was Now we're getting way the fuck off topic. This is why people are like, all right, I'm out. We're just having a conversation here. What happened is that my GT Interceptor was like mint.
They're expensive too.
They were like $250 back in the day.
Well, I mean,
I think they're more now. They went up, right? Mm-hmm. But I didn't even drive it to school. I remember that. I had like a backup bicycle that was like.
You didn't want to bring it to
I didn't want to mess it up. And the school that I went to school with when I was in middle school was a little bit of a bad place. Like you can get your bike stolen.
Get jacked then.
You can get you could.
Okay.
You could.
That's a smart move then. There you go.
So that bike was like in mint condition. Mm-hmm. So my mom used to babysit this kid. My mom was always helping someone out, like not in a like financial thing, but this lady was going back to school. She was a hairdresser. Man, this is a long-winded story. Got a hell of a memory, don't I? Mm-hmm. My grandmother worked at a beauty shop, right? My grandmother was one of those that was like friends with everyone, big personality. Mm-hmm. And so one of the hairdressers there, the Crystal Palace, I could say that because it's not around here. It was called the Crystal Palace.
Now I know where you get it from. It's your grandma.
Could be.
Yeah. Got it.
God bless you, Grandma Irene. And so this hairdresser, she was going back to school. My mom knew her, and she had a little boy, and her boy was like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. So he would get babysat by my mom. Maybe he was younger. I'd say 7 or 8. Mm-hmm. And so one time, like when I was in high school, I think my freshman or sophomore year, my bike was gone. I was like, did my bike get stolen out of the garage? Because I wasn't using my bike by high school, right? Because with the high school I went to, you had to take a bus. Mm-hmm. And my mom's like, no, I gave it to Sean. I'm like, you gave that kid my bike? And I was cool with it. I'm like, that's like my fucking GT Interceptor. Dude. And she's like, he didn't have a bike or anything like that. I'm like, could have picked one up at a garage sale or something. Like,
don't get.
So then years later, because he lived around where I lived, and I was cool with him because he used to get babysat. I was kind of like a big brother to him in some ways.
So you had it for years.
No, this is the part. No, this is the part that's crazy. Is I was like, hey, what happened to the bike? And he's like, oh, I parted that out, man. I sold the handlebars. I was fucking sick. He was like 10 years old. He's like, yeah, I parted it out. I sold it. I'm like,
dude, he's a hustler, man.
I let it go recently.
Did you tap on it?
I did tap on it, yeah.
There you go. That's a hard one because I know I had a GT, man.
Like I said, I found one at a secondhand swap meet type shop in the country of California. Like in some of these farmland areas, my parents live near like farmland areas. They have like antique weird stuff, and I found a GT Interceptor.
Dude,
my mom's like, "Are you gonna get rid of this?" I'm like, "No, just keep it in the garage." It's
right where the other one was. Just don't.
I got it for $25.
Was it mint? Was it mint like the other one?
No, I'm exaggerating about letting that go barely. I mean, I haven't talked about that in years, but when the GT Interceptor came up, I thought about it because that was a big deal. That was like my first really cool bike. I would never care that much about a bike.
Well, it sounds like it had a special place, you know.
It's a GT Interceptor. We can pull it up right now and show you the specs on it, dude.
I remember mine fondly.
I had a skateboard. It was called a BK. I don't know what those are, but that was the years of like Tony Hawk in the early days and Thrasher magazine. I didn't skate a lot though.
Did you know what Think skateboard? I had a Think.
Those were generic, dude. Those were from Kmart.
Shut up.
Those are Kmart skateboards.
Shut up. Bring it up right now.
Those are like T-shirts were made about them. T-shirts are made about. That's not like a.
Bro, could you kickflip?
I could ollie.
Okay.
And I could do a hand plant.
Oh, you could on the curb, like.
Done it many times, yeah.
Oh, you have a skateboard here.
Is a BK a Bryce Knight? I don't know. I don't know what it was, but here's some backstory to this if anyone fucking cares. But yeah, my babysitter, this is how young I was when I was skateboarding. I was like 6. Her son, who was in his 20s, was into skateboarding. That's when it was big, like when Tony Hawk and all them started. Christian Asoyo, all these different ones.
Busting out the knowledge.
Right? And she bought me a board and they put all the stickers on it. And that was like so fucking cool with independent trucks. And like I don't know, they were called like slime ball wheels or something. It was just all minted out. And I rode that for like a year or 2. I kept that for a long time. But yeah, that was called a BK. It was like a big deal.
We were into the rollerblades, like the aggressive rollerblades too. For a little
Dude,
while.
the minute you say like rollerblades, I just lose 2 notches of respect for you.
The fruit booters. Do you call them fruit booters?
Wow, Rob IS knows his stuff. Slime balls by Santa Cruz. There you go. Yeah. Wow. I was into it just for a very brief time. I didn't go all in on. I was amazed when I lived in San Diego for years how many more people like skating. Get a pair of skating shoes,
in
gloves.
San Diego, it's huge.
Huge,
Dude,
yeah.
it's huge.
Rollerblading's a different thing. I mean,
Do you ever see that movie?
rollerblading is kind of like, come on, man. It's kind of like,
Honestly,
it's like wearing Velcro sandals. It's just not cool. It's just not that. It's just not. I'd rather you say that you roller skated than you rollerbladed.
I would say it was.
Did you have all the pads? Did you have knee pads and shit?
No, we got tore up, but we bought some pretty expensive like stuff for kids or whatever. It was actually really fun going like bombing hills and stuff. It was fun
For rollerblading.
Yeah,
I believe you. I mean, to each their own.
there
man.
were beefs between the rollerbladers. Like we had to.
You were in a rollerblader gang?
No, like if you're like where we're from in the Bay, if you're like rollerblading or something next to skaters, like you got to be careful. But we also skated too, so
So there'd be a little beef out there.
yeah, because there's beef.
Was your wheels neon green?
No,
What color were the rollerblades? Did they have
white.
They were white rollerblades?
They're super expensive. We actually did like tricks and stuff.
I remember I worked at a sporting goods store when I was like, people were like, how many places you work at? A few. Got fired a few times. But yeah, I worked at this, and people would come in for the rollerblades, and they'd be like, hey, man, I got to ask you a few questions. I'd be like, I don't really know a lot about rollerblades, man. You work here, right? And I'm like, I get paid $7 an hour. It's like, I'll tell you the truth. I'll take them out for you and lace them. But I'm not a rollerblader. I don't associate with it too much. But if you want to get some shoes or something like that, like I'll help you out. Really? Like if I worked here, I remember one guy was like lecturing me. If I worked here, I'd know everything. I'm like, go ahead and work here, man. There's a fucking application up front. $7.50 an hour, dude.
Did you really tell him that?
I did. I remember it because the dude was like, hey, man, I got the ad right here about this. I was like, I don't know a lot about rollerblades, man. Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I know about.
Is that Big Five?
Yeah, it was Big Five.
Big Five, dude.
Big Five. I actually had a client, too, that was like, I worked at Big Five, too. Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun to work there. We used to take the BB guns out in the morning, shoot the shoes.
Shoot the shoes?
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. It was a proper sporting goods shop, but that was a tough job in the sense you had to work 1 to 10, and then the end of the shift you had to vacuum the whole fucking place.
So you were.
I remember the first time the guy was like, "Here's the vacuum. You're gonna want to take care." I was like, "Are you serious, man? You're gonna vacuum the whole place in a little tie and everything?" It's a good life experience, I suppose.
You sell snowboards there?
I think they had snowboards, but they weren't very good ones, and I didn't know a whole lot about them.
You don't. Come on.
No,
I know about the store, man.
We had fun there because it was all friends that worked there. I got like 5 people jobs.
Oh yeah,
and we would just hang out.
So basically, it was your store.
It was good. It was fun. And then the manager was really cool, and then they got a new manager in. I remember, and this manager walked in and was like, "Things are going to change around here," and like had a broom, had like 2 brooms. I want you guys to start sweeping up the stock room. And this isn't a great moment. I just walked out. I was like, this is going to be fun anymore. This guy's ruined it.
Literally?
I walked out because I knew right away. I'm like, it's changed.
Oh, wow.
This guy's walking in, defining his new managership of, this little dinky sporting goods store. I want you guys to clean the stockroom immediately. It's like, excuse me? I've been here longer than you. Like, can we figure out who's going to clean for? No. I'm a roller skate girl. It brought me so much joy and freedom. Anything you can operate on autonomously with skill, love it. Right on, Trudy.
Thank you, Trudy.
She said roller skates, not rollerblades. Rollerblades are actually
in the same vicinity.
Actually, from what I've heard, rollerblades are illegal now in the States.
What? No, they're not.
You know why?
Don't. Okay, why?
Because too many kids were getting bullied. Too many kids were getting bullied because they were all decked out in their rollerblade gear, and people were getting made fun of so much. They were like, "We just got to outlaw them," because they were targets. That's the story I heard. They said it's like the bullies were just having a field day on these kids rolling up with their rollerblades all the time, and so they outlawed them. It was.
I think I still have them in storage. I'm gonna. Call
You
my
would,
parents.
dude. Come on.
I'm gonna call my parents.
I don't know if there's anything worse than a rollerblader. What would be? Trying to think if there's one lower. Badminton? No.
Dude, badminton's fun. What are you talking about? Badminton is really fun.
Zero athletic skill involved.
In badminton, you got to have some pretty good hand-eye coordination.
Hand-eye coordination, yeah. But I mean, the birdie stays in the sky for 12 minutes.
If you're playing some jokers, play some real people, it's hard.
Croquet.
Wait a second.
Croquet might be the worst, huh?
You're putting croquet and rollerblading in the same.
It's probably the same person, that demographic. Croquet got to be one of the weird ones, yeah.
Have you ever seen that one movie where the guy, he's like
Cleaning the Cube?
No. He's like from California. It's I think it's in the 80s or 90s. I think it's called Airborne, maybe, where he's like a surfer, but he moves to Ohio where he has to learn like rollerblading. It's a
rollerblade movie? I definitely didn't watch it then.
It's good.
Early on, I identified that as like a no-go.
It's a good, like, cheesy 90s movie, I think.
I remember some of the bike movies like Rad and Gleaming the Cube. Gleaming the Cube, I think, was BMX movie with Christian Slater, which is an old 80s.
I was more into the snowboarding.
I'll tell you what fell out that was really cool was breakdancing. Like 80s breakdancing. I remember like late 80s, like parachute pants. Did you ever know what parachute pants were when you were young?
Yeah. Well, isn't that a...
They were, I mean, like...
Isn't that
I remember parachute pants were around. And
MC
like
Hammer, right?
Breakdancing back in the... I want to say late 80s. What is that movie? The Best Breakdancing. It was just like, wow, that's cool, man. Like none of those guys would be seeing rollerblades.
Dude. I think there's a lot of crossover for breakdancing and rollerblading.
No way.
I think it's easily crossed over.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at this. Hold on.
They do breakdancing here. They're pretty good here.
Let's take a look at this.
Snap pants. Is that the same thing?
Ladies and gentlemen, homeboys, homegirls, the New York City Breaker.
Oh, I had snap pants.
Glide Master. Makes you want to learn breakdancing.
I think you could do that now.
For sure. Flip rock. I like the outfits, dude. Kid nice.
Dude,
yeah,
dude.
man.
Outfits are sick.
Those are onesies, dude. Icy ice.
I like how they're all wearing the same one.
You know what's crazy? You want to know what's crazy about this?
What's crazy?
These guys are all like 70.
Yeah. They could still probably
All
bust
right,
it out.
so let me just. I know that was. I'm back.
Mhm.
All right, so let me just contrast this really quick.
Well, I think you should apologize about rollerblading. I mean,
So this is a B suggested I show this video that got him into rollerblading early on. All right, man. See the contrast with breakdancing? Wow.
I think that's exactly.
Oh, I didn't get to show it. I'm sorry. What am I thinking? This is a real gem. Hold on, folks. Take B back to his childhood a little bit here.
I think this is exactly what we were doing.
Hi, this is Asha from Skatefresh, and welcome to this series of tutorial videos, especially for children who want to improve their skating and try out the new stand up, bend the knees. Great, how did that feel?
It's actually quite fun. It doesn't hurt at all.
It doesn't, does it? Okay, should we try one more time?
She might have been in the crew.
Stop it.
She might have been with us. I don't remember.
Man. Rollerblade videos.
Look at the movie Airborne. I think it's called Airborne. That's true.
It's a rollerblade?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Way off topic today. It's good to be back on deck, though, and be able to talk. Odd Carlo. This is funny. Airborne, huh? Let's see here.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Let's take a look here.
Yeah, Jack Black was in it. That's right.
I don't think you can show it because it's a real movie.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I think these are different than what you're picking out. The Airborne I have here is.
Put in Airborne.
I guess it's a Thai movie.
No, put in Airborne rollerblade movie or skate movie.
Have you ever? Can you tell me the truth about this?
What?
Just tell me you're gonna tell me the truth. Have you ever had a dream where you were rollerblading with friends?
Yeah, I'm gonna say for sure.
Oh, 93. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, people get a kick out of this. Probably. I don't know if it's okay to show, but we'll take a look at it.
It's gonna get
This is
pulled on YouTube.
this is.
I watched this movie so many times.
You've watched it repeatedly.
Yeah, when I was, I don't know,
Explains a lot.
10. I think Tony Hawk's in it for a short time.
Let me tell you what styling is. The perfect session, A-frame wave, ground swell, spitting out salt water in your face, doing a 360 without a bounce. I call it the consciousness raiser.
Mitchell's life was a California dream. Until he woke up in Cincinnati.
What do you think? It's wild, right?
We're just so excited about having you here. Slow down a little bit, Wiley. Hands on Kevin, too.
His cousin wants him to meet his friends.
You. Where do I know you from? You used to flush my head in the urinals.
They're an interesting bunch.
I could be Elvis. It's possible. I really like to sleep, and I like Nintendo.
They all want
Oh
Mitchell
wow,
to
Jack
feel
Black
right
is
at
really
home.
young.
And if it wasn't for Nikki,
How are you?
You must be getting pretty homesick, huh?
Not right now.
he'd have no reason to stay.
Man, I'm gonna throw up.
For the next 6 months, his days of sun
Dude, this as a 10-year-old, this was great.
You know what's funny about this? I'm sorry, B, I can't watch anymore. You know what's funny about this is that look at all the people just jumped off the live stream immediately. They're like, oh wow, this is getting a little deep with Airborne. Didn't the people that were in high school look like they're 30?
Yeah.
They did that for remember Beverly Hills 90210? All the actors were like 30.
They were really old. And you're
Wow,
looking at them like,
talk about a way to get people off the live. It's like, wow, we just lost half the people there. Everyone's like, whoa, man, he really is showing Airborne.
no, it's just a delay. Now they're coming back. They were leaving before that.
Sorry, guys. I just did that for B. He's like, please. Rye Flint, yeah, I've been working on a book for a long time. I'm thinking one of the best things I could do for a lot of people is that I might just break a quick short story breakup book with all the stories we've collected over the years. Kind of like a Chicken Soup for the Soul, but we'd have to change the name. What would we change the name to if it was a breakup? Maybe you guys can help me with this. We got 8 on deck. It's a, fiery crowd out there. What do you think if we didn't do Chicken Soup for the Soul and I had short breakup stories like I unpack? Have you ever read Chicken Soup for the Soul?
No.
Obviously.
No.
Chicken Soup for the Soul is, it's feel good short stories.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, actually, that are true. I've thought about doing this for breakup stories because I have a lot on deck. And having short breakup stories, I think people would enjoy. Would you enjoy reading those when you're in a breakup or you're in a bad? Actually, some people would just enjoy reading them anyways, right? But what would be the good name? It definitely wouldn't be Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Probably couldn't even use that.
Soul coal for your hole. No. I don't know. What do you think would be a good name for
Was
it?
that Soul Coal? Did you say Soul Coal?
Soul coal.
Okay.
What do you think would be a good name?
Dude. Short stories, breakups.
Oh, Airborne. No.
Don't shit on that movie until you've watched it, all right?
I'll never watch Airborne. That would have to be.
I'm gonna find it somewhere on the internet, download it, and then I'm gonna force you to watch it. And you're gonna change your tune, and you're gonna become a rollerblader.
An Airborne?
Yeah.
He never wanted me to tell anyone this, but he came to me with a lot of problems originally.
My rollerblading.
So
problems.
so you just excuse him for if he's a little.
I do
he's
know
a
how
little
to
goofy.
Kick flip.
He's
I
a little.
do know how to kick flip a skateboard.
He's a little goofy sometimes.
Heel flip. I can do that.
He's a little goofy sometimes about this kind of stuff. He's come a long ways. Break up, break down, short stories by McCarthy and B. No, B doesn't get credit for the short stories. Sorry,
You know
there's
what?
a lot of things
I
I'll
like
help him
that.
out with.
No, I like that. That sounds pretty good.
Nah, man, you can't get in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Break up, break down. Get up, get down. 911's a joke in your town, as the great Flavor Flav once said. You don't know Flavor Flav. You don't know
Clock. Come on.
Public Enemy. That was way before your time.
Yeah, definitely way before my time.
That's an old one, man.
No, that's got to be, what, 70s?
Listen to that on a boombox.
It wasn't too far before. No, that was got to be 70s, right?
70s?
I don't know.
When was
Flavor
Public
Flav?
Enemy?
When I don't know. When was that?
The 80s.
Early 80s?
Early 80s,
okay,
yeah.
early 80s. Well, you're like, I was way off. 70s? No. Early 80s. Like, okay.
What would be the good name for that though? That would be
I like what Eduardo
breakup,
said.
breakdown.
Yeah. And if you include the breakdancing in there, that'd be a plus.
It's coming. Yeah. I mean, the good thing would be like if you could have your own take. You can see how I think looking up in the sky as if it has all the thoughts.
I think we lost you for a second.
Hold on. It's up there. All right, we got 13 on deck. We got some randoms that just jumped in. Does anyone want to jump on?
Dude, I'm telling you.
And get in on this.
The word was out there.
We're 2 hours in.
Airborne was on.
And you have a breakup issue right now? You want to go over or a problem? Come on in.
Come on down.
If not, within the next 5 minutes, I'll tail it out. You do have 5-minute break dance in between each short story. Okay.
It's exactly what I'm on board. I'm on board.
Breakups. I do think that if you read enough breakup stories, it'll distance you from your own, or at least what people really like is when they find one like, oh, that's exactly what happened to me. Mm-hmm. So then you'll feel like, oh, wow, it's not that big a deal. Because you know what a lot of people do? They go, oh, I wish I just had a normal relationship.
Right.
It's like, what does that mean?
What does normal mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think I told you, asked me like, what have I learned, in this? And there's a lot of different stories out there of people going through a lot of the same stuff,
Similar narratives with different reactions.
Yeah.
Different reactions. But no, I mean, that's why you want to get into the details, because the details count. It's like, oh, yeah, she's toxic. It's like, okay, what does that mean? I don't blame people. I'm surprised when people come on live and they show up. It's like B was asking me recently because we had that woman from England, but the first one that didn't show her camera, which was fine, but you were like, oh, that was really good. And you were saying like to cut it up. The power of close, your hold. There's something hidden there that I'm not getting, or you didn't write that correctly. The book name, The Power of Close, Your Hold. I'm going with it. Perfect. Thanks, JB. I just need a break. Short Stories by Mac.
Simple. I like it.
I actually, to be honest with you, I think it's a great time for short stories because everyone's attention span's now. Yeah. You right?
Yeah.
It's true. It's a great time to read short stories, actually, because everyone's like, oh, I don't want to read a novel.
Give me like 5 or 10 minutes and I'll, read a few.
I could literally put out that book right now. I have enough stories and
but don't worry, it'll be out by 2030. So reserve your copy now.
All right, slow down, Airborne.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna go watch that.
How many stories would be appropriate for each book? 50, 30, 20?
How long? What are we talking? Like lengthwise?
1 to 2 pages.
Kind of like what they. Okay.
Like you've never read Chicken Soup for the Soul, so you don't know the power of closing. The power of closing is your heart. Break between forces. Oh my God, I can't wait that long. I'll be vintage
by then.
I'll break between forces. I like the input though. Thanks, folks. The power of closing is your heart. That makes me think. Someone jump on. I don't know if I'll go with that one, Riflint. That sounds like a weird name for a book, but
what?
I'm just joking. You have to do. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a limited edition one.
Mac released a book. You should sell only 500, a number of them all out of 500. I would appreciate a signature in a book. It's funny because I always make that joke individually numbered.
Yeah.
You've heard me say that before, individually numbered. So, I was talking about working at Nordstrom's back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
there were some mean old schools. Like when I say mean, I mean mean in a good way,
Mm-hmm.
like in an 80s way, like Mean Green Machine. A couple of veteran salesmen that were selling shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And this one guy was all time. You guys will get a kick out of this. He was just all time. He was always on for sales.
Mm.
And so there's an expensive brand of shoe. I think I can say it. Ferragamo. You know what Ferragamos are?
Almost, no.
CB's not. I mean, he's in it. Keep in mind, he just got out of his rollerblades. So Ferragamos, which were 20 years ago, were $200 a pair, right, or more.
Sure.
So it's very expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an Italian shoe, leather, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say, Italian leather, all natural, no barbed wire. The animals were raised in the mountain, no barbed wire fences. I was just like, where'd you come up with that?
That was his pitch. Yeah.
No, no. Animal died of all natural causes, no barbed wire. And he'd take out the shoe and like hold it out.
Right.
And he'd look over at you and he'd wink. You go, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gotta respect it, man. Ferragamo is a dressy shoe.
I bet you he sold his fair share of Ferragamos.
Animal died of all natural causes, no barbed wire. Waterproof. Could wear it in any climate. He would just bark out like bullshit things. Dead serious. Deadpan.
What's up, Sabina? We got Sabina on. Oh, she knows.
Yeah, Ferragamos are big.
Salvatore.
It's a big one.
Oh, that's a normal price for it.
I mean, that was 20 years ago. They were 185 to 200. So I'm sure they're way more now. I'm sure they're in the 3 to 4s. There's expensive shoes out there, man. There's shoes that are 500-600. Most interesting man ever is the Dos Equis guy, Max. Oh yeah, you've heard me say that.
Wait, what?
He is the most interesting man. Those are the coolest
in the world.
Yeah, the Dos Equis, Tales of the Heart.
Tales of the Heart.
Better than Tales from the Crypt, huh? Then they're under 100.
Tales from the dude.
Tales, the tale of a fox. One of the things I'm just riding out today is it just feels so good to be able to talk for 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I did the live streams,
you were hurting
during Christmas.
You were hurting.
No, I was scared. My voice swelled up where I had to stop talking, and I'm like, I can't lose my voice.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people out there that could go without talking for long periods of time. Not me.
Called monks.
I have boots over 1,000 euros, but I wait for sale and get them. So they're not 1,000 euros then.
They're 1,000.
I believe you though. I mean, 20 years ago or whatever, when I used to sell shoes when I was in college, I was shocked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of the stuff was there's $700 boots then, or $600 boots, Via Spigo, all those things. Signs of Life. Justin Brown likes this competition. Flint, how's everything? Signs of Life.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Tales of the Heart. What else we got?
Airborne. Did you ever see Air Bud?
Yeah.
My niece used to watch that. That was a big one.
Air Bud. I think they have like Air Bud. I think there's like 5.
60-second makeup.
60-second makeup.
I could better get this book developed soon, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I have a client that I have multiple people that have been suggesting I do Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to throw in $10 a month, $15 a month? Do any of you guys do Patreon? Have you done Patreon for someone else?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I've seen it on some channels though.
Isn't it passe now? Like it seems
I don't know.
It's quirky.
I haven't seen it for a while. But they used to have like where you could do tiers of like you would get stuff, you know, if you paid 50 or I don't know.
$2, $3, but it's long lasting quality, and I wear them for years. It's great quality. No wonder they cost a lot. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so they last a long. That's why. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And your size isn't going to change, right? Your foot's going to be the same, perhaps, unless you have kids. Maybe your foot changes.
Your foot changes.
Your foot changes size. My sister went up like a full
kids?
size when she had kids. Not all women, but some.
I had no idea.
Someone else would be like, "No, that's not true." Well, happened to my sister.
Like for a short period of time. Just like
my sister was short. She was like 5'3", 5'4".
No, I mean just like for a brief period of time, like just.
And she had like a size 9, like an 8.5 or 9.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, she had a bigger like, and I think she was a 7.5 before that. But after she had kids,
that's interesting. Maybe she just wanted to be a little more comfortable.
Maybe because some people get. Oh, I'm gonna get into shoe stuff. It's like okay,
well, you're the right person to talk to. You had a pretty good stint at Nordstrom's.
I'm 6 even. I'm not 6'1". I'm 6 foot. 6 even on the dot. But I was short most of my life, actually. Then I started drinking milk.
As a junior in high school.
I worked in shoes in the back of the day. Yeah. I have friends having their Patreon for their channels. People pay $125. Okay.
Yes, I mean you could do different things, right?
It's gonna get cooking, yeah, for sure.
See, you and Rye could talk about shoes for a little while.
Oh.
You've expanded my knowledge. I know Ferragamos now.
I know a lot of shoes. It's funny, I notice when people don't wear shoes that fit them too. Like when they're heel flaps and stuff.
I have seen that.
There's a lot of people that buy shoes too big for themselves. It's kind of, and I'm not gonna go down the shoe route. That's good to hear. I'm very good resting. It's like, oh, let's get into a shoe conversation on the channel. It's like all over the place here. It's like I said, it's good to be back. I was sick for like 2 weeks, man. 10 days, good.
So even talking about shoes is we're good.
It's doable, yeah.
You're just happy to be talking.
Yeah, and I had a long day yesterday of calls.
Yeah, I was telling you before, I was sick where I couldn't speak at all a few months ago.
I've heard women say that before.
So that's a red flag. All right.
I've heard them say dirty shoes or bad shoes. Yeah. I'm shocked how popular Vans are worldwide.
Mm-hmm. You've got a pair
Vans
out
are
there.
Vans are from Cali.
You've got a pair out there.
I'm just shocked by worldwide
how
they're huge in Thailand. They're huge all over. They're not particularly comfortable.
No,
they're
like
a very
slip-ons.
basic shoe.
Yeah.
I mean, they were popular since I was a kid in California.
The one was like, the racing flag pattern.
Yeah, they're
that
from
was the popular.
Yeah, they're from Cali, but like how big they are worldwide.
Oh yeah.
You know what's interesting about when you work at a high-end place that's got class, you don't get a lot of stinky feet. So like that wasn't common because it's an expensive place.
People
so it's actually quite uncommon that you'd get someone with rank feet.
Would you get people just like going in there not looking? I'm sure you.
One thing, the book world of my imagination. Keep going, Justin. I'm with you. One thing women would have is when they have the toes like this. That was a little
from wearing like the
wearing shoes that were wrong. Mm-hmm. But if you want my craziest shoe or toe, and the funny thing is, I don't like bad feet.
Maybe that's why you were.
No, but I'm like, if someone has like bad feet, it's kind of like a major
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of people are like that, to be honest. But the not a lot of stank, I would say. But you also could just set the shoes down. You didn't have to like always you don't have to like put them on the feet unless someone's really old or they want you to do that.
So you weren't doing like the
ironic thing is in that store, the men's shoes would be, the men's department would put that on. But a lot of times with women, they could just slip on because there's no laces or so. Saying that, the worst story I had, this lady goes, I kind of have a problem with my feet. Like it's kind of bad. And I'm like, oh, I've seen many things. Don't worry about it. Like I've seen, like the crooked feet. It's okay, whatever. Yeah. And she had an upside down, like pinky toe with like a cup nail. It was a weird. I went, oh,
wait, no.
I was like, oh, and she's like, I told you. I'm like, I'm sorry. I've just never seen anything like that. It's like she had a little hermit crab on her pinky toe. It was weird.
You really like?
It was like a cupped upward shell. I've never seen it. It was weird. And it was her pinky toe was upside down and the nail was long facing up. And I went, okay. Oh. And she's like, I told you. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I've never seen that before.
I didn't mean to make that reaction.
I'll get someone else to help you. Thanks.
Oh, you couldn't even continue.
Some people have to have standards, okay? I mean, there were some stories at that job. I remember it's like some people would want to try on 100 shoes.
That's what I'm saying. Like those,
and
people,
you're like, and like there, I didn't mind. Like it's good customer service. You get used to it. You're like, no problem. You just kill people with kindness. It's a game. Right. It's like no problem. Right. Go in the back, talk a little shit.
Come out like
this, smile, no problem. Be right with you. Did it? Remember this woman? One of the things is one of my weaknesses when I was younger. It's not so bad now. Is like if I'm hungry, I get pissy. I was like, and I had to go to lunch, and you earned your lunch because that job. The crazy thing about that job, you're on your feet the whole time. There's no sitting, so you're thinking like, oh, people would clock like one of those where you could see how long you. I don't know what the word is, pedometer or something. Yeah, 5 to 6 miles. Shocking, right? Every time you ask me for a shoe, there's 3 flights of fucking stairs back there.
You have to go through.
Swear to God, no one knows that, dude. Everyone loses weight when they would have that job in a suit. So you go upstairs, downstairs, come back out. So you like when you went to lunch, you were hungry. So I remember this lady was like, "Oh, can I get 2 more pairs of that?" I said, "I got to go to lunch. I'm sorry." Well, you know what? I said, you can know whatever you want to know. I'm going to go eat right now. And you can pick out whatever you want. Maybe this person over here will help you, but I'm done. Thank you. I said, I got to go eat because I'm getting ready to throw the shoes, across the room. Just like every time I came out, 2 more. She's like, you got 20 pairs of shoes here. And she was taking her time, like talking to her friend. It's like, come on, I got to go eat. I'm hungry. Well, excuse me. Well, you know what? I don't care if you buy any shoes. I just want you to leave. Faction of history. Traumatizing. Faction of history. I don't know. I don't know if these line up for stories about breakups.
I like them, bro.
I always had one in mind. Breakup or fuck up, reframing heartbreak. Because you always think you fucked up.
Breakup or fuck up, reframing heartbreak.
Because you always think you if you were going to polarize the problems with breakups, it's a lot of times like I messed up. It's like, no, it's just when you get to a point when you're like, we just broke up. Can you name 3 things that legitimately make you cranky? I'll tell you what, I've come a long way. You think when you get older, you'll get more cranky. I've gotten less cranky because I control my time. I live in paradise.
Traffic.
I get extra. Fucking traffic would be number one because he knows that for me because he doesn't mind traffic. Traffic would be number 1. People cutting lines. Like when you're in line. So this doesn't happen as much in the States, but internationally, people cut lines. I'm not gonna say which groups do, but there are particular at the airport, someone cuts the fucking line. Everyone's in line. No one's gonna get on the fucking plane quicker or anything like that. Someone plays dumb and it's like, oh, rows 65 to 45. And you look at the guy or woman's thing and it's like their number's 90. And they're like, get in line in the front of the line. And you're like,
no, I love it when you're in line and they stand like they keep hitting your backpack or they stand like an inch away from you and we're waiting. I'm like, dude,
but
we're just waiting.
It happens. And some people are like, it's okay. It's like, no, it's not okay. It's like if we all did that and then you let them through, but there's people that don't follow. I've had it here in Thailand, like at 7-Eleven, and they won't be like, oh, you need to get in line. Some people just go to the front of the line. So that's one that irritates me a little bit. I would say that.
I can guess one that's specific to here, where they used to have like a foreign price, or they still do.
Yeah,
That
I
used to
mean,
get-
it's funny because like when you live in a foreign country,
Mhm.
it's like everyone in America is always talking about stereotyping and racism. It's like
foreigner price. Sorry,
here you'll get a different price
for being a.
if you go to the market to get bananas. They might go, oh, it's 50 baht when they charge other people 20 baht. That used to irritate me, but it's I'm just used to it now. It's
Yeah, you
fine.
get used to it for sure.
Not something I'm irritated. But traffic would probably be number one. I would say like heavy traffic, and yeah, I don't like airports and lines at the TSA. That's the one. Like when you're at TSA and people are like, I remember I saw this guy. He's got like 3 bottles of 2-liter Coke. I swear to God, bro. And I'm like, and then they're drinking Coke. Like you can't bring it. You can't bring it through. So I don't know what their plan is, right? No. They're coming up to the front of the line. They're like, hey, we're late for our flight. We're late for our flight. Can you let us? And I'm like, no. Someone else is like, oh, yeah, it's okay. It's like, dude, there's 200 people in line. You guys are drinking Coke like it's a cakewalk in the park. You obviously took your fucking time to go buy a Coke. Right? And we're all waiting in line patiently, fucking German Shepherd sniffing around. It's all chaos around. You got to take off your shoes. Oh, hey, I'm going to be late for my flight. Can I just cut the line? No, not really. And the lady in front of me goes, oh, no problem. Oh, no problem, son. It's okay. Oh, hold on. Let me drink my Coke first. So then you got to wait for him. He's like drinking his Coke. And then they like put him through the thing and he's got a couple drinks on him. Oh, sorry. It's like, dude, you didn't know that you can't bring drinks through TSA? Like you can't bring.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, man. Oh, did you pick up a few drinks when you were late for your flight? Come on, man. I don't like airports that much, man.
I don't mind airports.
I know you don't because you like
weird.
that.
I don't mind airports. But I always get there early. Like unless it's,
I would say the other thing that would probably make me a little bit cranky when you're on an airline, I like kids. Screamers are tough. The screaming's tough. Or when you have a kid behind you that kicks the seat and the parent never says, hey, Tommy, can you stop kicking the seat? They're just like,
bang, bang.
They don't say anything.
Yeah, dude, it's bad sometimes.
They don't say anything. They'll say like, hey, and the parent's just like, oh, here, play with your game. I was going to say Game Boy for how ancient I am. But I was like, play with your game thing, right?
Switch.
And then all I'm asking, just reprimand them. Just say something. It's like, come on, man. I like kids, but like, so I would say that that's pretty big on there. We're on a roll now. There's not many things that make me too cranky though.
You've gotten better, I will say.
Oh yeah. Grew up with a cranky father most of my life. So I just, you import that into your personality sometimes, but now living in paradise near the beach and everything like that, it helps out quite a bit. Being in charge of your own schedule, helping people out with their problems, it helps. What's your 3 crankiest things, B? I've never seen B cranky, I don't think.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually think. The airports one, standing, like I said, like people really close, bumping me all the time. That really bugs me. Yeah, not too much, to be honest. Pretty even.
Number one things that gets me cranky is seeing people bring their dogs to the mall or coffee shops or places where there's no reason for it. Okay, so when I was back in California this last time, I noticed a very big influx in service dogs. I actually said this to B. I was like shocked. And my niece told me that it's very common. It's very common. That doesn't really bother me that someone brings their dog in because I like dogs. And if the dogs are really cool, under control, I could see how it bothers other people because some people think it's dirty to have dogs in an eating area. I'll tell you one that's funny. It doesn't irritate me that much, but I go to the beach quite a bit in the morning. I'd say 5 or 6 days a week for a walk in the early morning, first thing. And so some people walk their dogs, right?
Mhm.
And it's kind of funny because who picks up the crap, right? So a lot of them bring their little baggies or whatever. And there's regulars there when you go to the beach that you see. And there's this old lady that's like always crouched over in a bad mood. Usually the regulars at the beach do what? Hey, how you doing? Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Just a familiarity. Yeah, you don't break bread or talk too long. You just go, hey, how you doing? I know you. You walk on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't talk to anyone. She's always like this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now they have horses at the beach. You know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the horses, guess what? They take shits too. So this lady has like a little dog, and I don't know what happened. The 2 horses came through, and I think they kind of scared her dog or something and scared her. And then on the way out, the horse dropped a loaf, right? And I've seen people pick up the horse poop that are there. They're supposed to do it, and they kind of didn't pick it up, right? And I'm just kind of observing this lady, and this lady's like
freaking out,
like looking around, like, oh my God, right? So her dog just drops a nice diarrhea right there. Like as I'm watching it, right? I'm trying to meditate, by the way. Completely not. I swear to God, I'm in Indian style posture, if that's the way to cross-legged. Right? I do meditate on the beach. Like I'm watching this. I had just opened my eyes. I'm like, oh great. We got a crap show. So the dog that diarrheas, right? She kind of looks at that and she has a little baggie and picks it up, right? Here's the best part. I'm walking over to my motorbike. She's walking over to where the garbage is. And she throws the bag of diarrhea and it misses the garbage can. And then I see her go. And she just walks away and I'm like, citizen's arrest. You know what I mean? It's like in my head, I go, so you're just looking around after the horse did it, and now you just threw a big plastic bag of I don't know what you would call it. It was green funk, but I mean, and missed the thing, and then just looked. I saw her look both ways, and then just walked away, and I was like, oh, who's the better person here? Right?
Mm-hmm. Citizen's arrest.
You never heard of that one?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's a citizen's arrest.
Yeah.
People are nice here. Flint, Cornwall. It was weird. It's funny how people are. I can't believe this. Oh, did you throw a bag of turds against the wall too? Okay, sweet, nice. Did you forget to flush also? I would never take my dogs to a mall or cafe. It is pretty common in California. There is a lot of service dogs now.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Well, it's been a while since I've been back, but I can imagine.
I actually can be not as much as I used to, but the cats used to annoy me quite a bit.
Mm.
And they like me for some reason because they're drawn to good energy.
That's what it is?
That's what I've been told.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They always are like, they come over and their friend will, oh, they like you. That's like, I don't really like cats. Can you get them away?
Like, get the fuck away from me. You have the same kind of energy as a cat then.
They always come. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you the truth. After I zen out at the beach, do my meditation and everything, I'm all ready.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll stop at a coffee shop and I'll leave my motorbike and the cat will just roost on my motorbike, just absorbing the energy.
Just where the little energy that you left on the bike still.
Yeah. When I say I don't care, I should say I don't care for them because I'm not one of those people that'll like hit a cat or something like that or be mean. I just don't like to pet them that much because I didn't grow up with them. With the fur and stuff like that. And actually, I had a girlfriend once that is an ex-girlfriend now, and she really liked cats. You know this story? And she was like, when we were first living together, she was like, she really loved cats, and I know she would take good care of it.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom was always allergic, so we never had them.
Mm.
We always had dogs. And I just, like I said, for that reason, probably don't like them that much. And my girlfriend's like, can we get a cat? And I was like, I'm allergic. Technically, I'm not.
Well,
I forgot like years later. That's the thing, like a little white lie like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because you're allergic to cats. And then you're like, 2 years later, you're like, oh, yeah, I did say that. I'm not. Should I say that I'm not really allergic to cats? Nah, yeah, that's true. I was like, because then you start feeling bad every time it gets brought up. Like, actually, I'm not allergic to cat. I just didn't want one, but I thought it would be easier just to.
I had a bad experience one time.
It's just, I'll tell you what, cat litter is one of the most foulest things, and cat pee. Because there's street cats around here, and like if they pee in my garden or something, it's pretty rank.
They spray.
Cat spray?
The males do, yeah.
I'll take a dog any day of the week. Great industry service dog. I mean, the ones, to be honest, the never get a cat or dog with partner. I don't know. I mean, I haven't had a dog in a while. I like a good dog, though.
They're fun.
One of the neighbors here has a beautiful Rottweiler. I'm not really a Rottweiler fan, but it's a nice.
Our next door neighbor is in California.
Almost, he just keeps it in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost want to say, like, do you want me to take him out for a walk sometime? Mm-hmm. But then, then you're responsible if something happens to the dog.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel bad when people leave
their dogs just
in the house, like they're caged or in a house. Mm-hmm. It's bad. That's jail for pets, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, any closing questions? This has been a barn banger here today. More comedy than therapy, but that's okay. Maybe that's where we're headed. Never get a cat or dog with a partner. Those are a big deal, though, when people divide up things and they're like, you get the dog. No, I have to visit the dog. Oh, she just called to check on Stewie. But Stewie's, 25 years old. He's on his last legs. I don't know if she's really genuine about calling about. It's like, unfortunately, you fuck yourself. Wow, Justin. That's what he wants to name the book. That could be the name of one story.
Right? A lot of those. Yeah.
$2 hours, 22 minutes. Thanks for the super chat, folks. Their donations were very kind. Genuinely received.
You have upkeep on the grand piano.
Upkeep on the grand piano. I would have loved to learn the piano. I think if I had to choose, that would be my instrument.
Is playing the piano?
Got long fingers, I've been told so.
Is that good for piano?
Yeah, I have piano fingers, yeah. See those?
Did not know that.
I've been told many times.
Really?
I've been told multiple. You don't believe me? I've been told multiple times, like, wow, you'd be great with the piano. Your fingers are really long. I have a long hands, long
multiple
fingers.
People have come up to you and been, wow,
those are piano fingers.
Those are piano fingers.
I said, really? They said, wow, you could stretch out on the keys really easily.
Stretch out. These are piano people.
Mm-hmm. You don't believe me? It's up to you. I don't mind. I don't care. I don't gain anything by saying I have piano fingers.
I 100% believe you. I don't think you would make that up.
Wow, those are the hands of a pianist. I'm like, excuse me? Again, please? Is there by chance that you've been playing the piano?
But like the drums or...
Maybe in a past life.
The drums or like guitar? None of that. It's piano?
Piano would be the choice because like I said,
okay,
I've been told I got the hands.
All right.
I never had an interest in guitar. I think because drums, my grandfather had a piano, mm-hmm. and he had like not a grand piano, like a bar piano, like the small ones, but it was cool. It was like an old one.
I could see you like jamming out on a saxophone.
Little Great Balls of Fire.
Saxophone, like a jazz.
I would
There you
never
go.
play the saxophone.
Just play.
I would never play a blowing instrument. I like to talk too much.
Oh, that would
I wouldn't want to just
wear you
blow in
down.
an instrument. Yeah, I wouldn't.
That would wear you down.
You told me you used to play the clarinet or the trumpet.
No, we had a.
I thought you told me you played the trumpet for years.
No. We had
Oh,
like
okay.
a little, like one of those. We had like a music class. And we-
Accordion?
No, I was never in.
I was never in music class.
No.
I mean, in elementary school they had like
We had to buy like it's called a recorder. It's like a
You
little
would-
flute. Or
you would
something.
sing songs, but I remember they would have like cover songs, like a Whitney Houston song.
Really?
Yeah, and you were like 9 years old singing a Whitney Houston song as a
Like
group of
Heartbreak,
kids.
something.
It would be like an inspirational.
That's funny. No, I'd go with drums. That's.
Have you ever played the drums, or is that just an idea you like?
No, people have told me I have drum arms before.
No.
That's multiple people have come up to me and
No
said,
way.
"You've got drumming arms." I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I'm going to tell you, you don't have drumming arms. I'm going to say,
Are you
that
a drummer? Are you a drummer?
I've known
Then
enough
how-
drummers to know drumming arms, because if I'm going to know drumming arms, I'll probably have to observe it on other people, not myself, because I would be biased.
Multiple people.
I've known some people that are real drummers. I think you're more of a handpan guy.
What is that? One of the.
Have you ever seen the handpan?
No. What is that?
Fucking handpan's cool, man. I'll tell you what. I'm giving you a compliment. I'll pull it up right now.
Just that you know what a handpan is.
You've never seen a handpan?
I'm sure once I see it, I'll know what it is. But no.
This guy actually looks like B. So if you guys are wondering what he looks like, this guy I'm pulling up, it kind of looks like him if you're just curious.
Triangle. There we go. I'd be down for the triangle.
Noah.
Have you ever seen that one, the cowbell? SNL.
Nice. Twin.
Oh,
you never seen this?
Dead Ringer. No.
You'd be a good handpan guy.
Dude, this goes perfectly with your like meditation stuff.
It is not. Handpan's nice. It's a mean instrument, man.
So you actually were meaning it as a compliment. I mean, I thank you. I'm gonna go learn how to handpan. I just like this guy's energy.
Look at the birds in the background too.
Yeah.
Is that a real woman or is that
Is
that a robot?
She seems like she's in a trance.
So keep doing what you're doing, okay? Just act natural. Background.
Catch butterflies. I swear to God, I've never seen this before.
You're a liar.
I've never seen this before.
It's good. The sound pound. The way I found one is the yoga place I go to, or the yoga studio I go to. One of them had a sound pan and gong bath. Gong bath. Yeah, gong bath. And then they came. They did multiple things that I don't want to talk about because it's personal. But the sound pan was big. It was a big part of it.
That's what you came away with.
There was a guy there. He's like, it's funny because you have to. Yeah, I do hot yoga sometimes, not often, but off and on. But the sound pan, and then they did like like I said, it's a gong bath, like from Indonesia.
The bowls.
It's nice. It's like a sound therapy.
Mm.
And then they passed out these cards that were supposed to be like spirit animals.
What's your?
Dude, you'll
what's
never
your
get the
spirit
card I
animal?
got. Yeah,
What's
the
your
card.
spirit
The card I'm usually maybe about 5 times in my life I've been on a loss for words where I'm like, I don't know how to make this. And mine was. So people are like getting wolves.
Wait, I want to see if anyone
someone's
can
getting
guess.
someone's getting like a jackal. Someone's getting like their animals, like a bear, right?
I'm gonna say
it's
you got like a grasshopper or something.
no, that would be better. than this. I was shocked. I was like, what does this even mean?
Earthworm.
It was an earthworm.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was an earthworm.
No way.
It was an earthworm. And I thought, like, why would this be considered an animal? And then you read the card and it's like, oh, earthworms are more significant than you think because the casings fertilize the dirt and everything like that. I just remember being like, I'm cool with spiritual stuff. I'm open.
But I would like to have been a wolf. Like, dude, come on.
The earthworm, and it was like a picture of a worm like with a casing. I got that card and I went, I think I got the wrong card. Can I pick again? Nope. Sorry, man.
That's not your spirit animal.
Man. Hey, dude, you got the earthworm. Oh, man. Oh, yeah, that's
the one to get. Dude.
Oh, man. I was like, it's an albino earthworm, so it's special. There's only a few of those left in the world. So not your standard North American earthworm.
Definitely.
I don't know. It was on a card, but I was just expecting some kind of animal.
Like an eagle.
Wouldn't a worm be an insect? Or am I totally wrong on that?
I'm not sure, actually.
It's a good question, huh? It's a good bait for trout.
You redefined the whole system, you know? You're not even an animal. Whatever.
I mean, it's just funny because the card will be like, oh, these are one of the most important parts of the. I'm like, they're every part of nature eats them, so I don't feel that great about it.
You're basically fertilizer and food.
The most eaten thing on the planet is probably worms, earthworms, right? It's like birds. Everything has a pick at an earthworm.
Did somebody pick this out for you, or did you randomly pick it?
I didn't feel good about it.
You felt bad after.
I didn't feel good about it, and I still don't. But I'm all right. I can deal with it. I got through it.
Did you tap through that to get through that?
Crystal Unfiltered Tarot. Do you do Crystal? Are you doing tarot cards live? I'll do a tarot card reading.
See, Rob got an owl.
It's funny. We're just talking about cards and someone comes on that's a tarot card reader. One time, I think it was about a year and a half or 2 years ago, I got some cards read. I believe they're tarot cards. It's kind of funny with tarot cards, they're international.
Yeah.
So like all cultures use, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Use the same kind of tarot cards. And it was weird because the first card I drew, and then I cut the deck or whatever it was. And the second card was the same card I drew the first time. Is that supposed to happen? Is there the same?
We got an expert here.
Crystal Unfiltered Tarot.
Can you get the same card?
Did you tap over that? About the worm? Wouldn't be needed for tapping.
It might get to some people, But you sounded like you were pretty over it.
What do you, Crystal Unfiltered Tarot? I know you've been on the live stream a few times before. What do you do with your channel? Do you read cards? Tarot cards? Or do you do it for individuals or for groups? I'm just curious. And I'm curious, how do you feel when you read tarot cards? And I'm getting 2 questions ahead because there's a delay.
She says no.
Okay. Well, I guess I had a special deck. So I must have two decks in the same thing because I had the same card. Do you feel like when you're doing tarot cards that you're aligned with a spirit or with a knowledge or an energy or a frequency? Or do you feel like you drop the card and then your answer to why someone got that card, where are you getting that from? This is complete ignorance and curiosity. The concept of hot yoga has so many benefits. Do you know of Bikram Choudhury, the supposed founder of hot yoga? There's an interesting story. Yeah, I've seen the documentary. What do you think? 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 He's actually been over here multiple times. Yeah. Yes, I'm live on Facebook. I answer in person at time. I also do private readings. Okay. How long have you been a tarot card reader? Have you ever got your cards read, B?
I think you asked me this before. I'm pretty sure.
Different person, man.
When I was like a young teenager, maybe.
Oh, you have spirit guides. Okay.
2 spirit guides.
What do you charge for private readings? I'm curious.
You did it here in Thailand? You got your cards read here?
Yeah. It had to be translated.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I think you did. I remember. Okay.
Some things came true, though. Some ironic things came true. That were surprising, but it had to be translated.
Right.
So can you bypass using the tarot cards and just go straight to the spirit guides? By maybe being in trance or meditation or
Energy.
$100 per hour. Okay. Okay, so the cards are used as a means to use your clairvoyance. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Were you from San Diego or lived in San Diego, Crystal? I lived in Mission Beach, actually. I'm thinking that for some reason I want to say that you said you lived in San Diego, but you didn't live in, but I could be wrong. Now I'm trying to be clairvoyant. It's like, don't try to do.
You don't try. Just come.
Who do you think you are? Hot yoga is really good, Trudy, but it can be very dehydrating. You definitely need to drink your water is an understatement. And I think for different people, myself, I sweat a lot in those kinds of situations. And sometimes
it's too much.
Sometimes it can be draining. But when you get done with it, you feel great. Look, she does live in San Diego.
There you go. There you go. Have you ever done
Santee? Clairvoyant. Yeah.
Have you ever done the ice bath?
Because I want to. I've talked to Crystal before, either this life or a past. Now I'm joking around a little bit, but I do believe in past lives in some format. But I remember talking. You were. I was right. I have a good fucking memory.
Wow. See the ice bath. That's what I'm talking about.
I have a good memory, huh? Because I remember you saying you didn't like Mission Beach, I think.
Yeah.
And Crystal, your red hair. You had red hair before. When did we talk? Did we talk? Because
you got it.
I'm just saying I've talked to her before. I remember talking to you. I don't know what it is, but here's the crazy. I was just telling someone this recently. Like when I have conversations with people or I meet with them, I can remember everything. And were you redhead at one point though? Like Ginger died? Maybe a few years ago. But learning languages,
2019.
You'd think that would correlate.
Yeah.
You think it would correlate.
But what's the hold on that?
Yes, she did have red hair. Is that what you guys are saying? All right. I thought so.
No, they were saying 2019, 2020.
So would you come on a live stream and give me a little bit of... Jen is my best friend. Jen that comes on this channel. Jen, I don't want to say her last name because she doesn't want me to say it. But Jen in California also.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we got...
Okay.
Kylie stream. Okay. Kyle stream? You mean...
Kyle's.
Ah, wow. Wow, small world. I didn't know you were close with Jen. You want to come on right now and give me a quick reading? Oh, man, what am I asking for, huh?
What are we asking for here?
I like stuff like that. I will say that I've done a few different things with cards, not a lot. I've gone to a few, not a few. I think just a couple. I definitely went to someone before that read cards that was guessing. It was kind of a funny thing.
You could tell.
Oh, it was. Here, you want to come on right now and we'll do it. Yeah. I got the energy. I would love, and I don't want to take too much of your time because I know your time's valuable. But if you had something that came up in a reading for me, you can hop on right now if you want to just use your, if you don't want to use your camera, that's fine, or you want to use just your voice. Or if you don't want to, maybe I'm putting you on the spot. And definitely share with everyone what you, if you want them to find you on your channel. Crystal Unfiltered Tarot. We got San Diego in common. Because if you remember, I lived in PB over on Grand Avenue. And then on Ingram 20-something years ago. And then Mission Beach at the great Santa Barbara Place. I love how this yard stream, you can just put a link up, and if someone wants to jump in, you can jump in. So it's so neat and easy. Yeah, no problem, Crystal. Anytime, hon. But it'll be cool to do it on the live stream. But yeah, if you're tired, no problem. Hope you get a good sleep. That would definitely affect things too, right? If you had sleeping medicine and stuff. It's like when I do hypnosis with people, I'm like, don't drink or do anything else before. Oh, wow. I totally believe that. I mean, if you really think about it, and like I said, there are some people out there that just aren't good at it or are guessing. And I had one time. It doesn't mean he was a bad guy, but I just remember it was a reach. Like he was reaching for the things. Oh, that's true, right? And he would double check his stuff, and I was like, so it was kind of odd too because mediumship. Okay, so that's a different thing. I've definitely noticed, Crystal, over since I've done hypnosis with clients, that I definitely people are gonna get a little woo woo, but I feel energy differently, and I can feel with hypnosis you become one at some point, and you can feel what the other person's feeling when they're imagining maybe what you're talking about or something, a shot of energy, and I always feel it go down my back or down my neck, kind of like the hair raising on a dog's back. Or if you think about this too, when I'm saying this, when someone's like, oh, really? Have you ever been around a dog that you're uncomfortable around and you immediately get a shot of energy down your neck or your back? Because you can feel that dog's a little nervous too. I charge $125 an hour for coaching or hypnosis. A lot of times I'm starting to feel like people should probably do it more than once. But overall, it's every time I've ever done it with a client, because because there's such a negative connotation for
Sure.
hypnosis. It's kind of exhausting sometimes. But the experience is always good, including B.
Mhm.
B was a little surprised. He came out of it and was like, "Whoa!" And I know he was negative to start because he was hoping like this isn't gonna work, so I can
bash it.
Yeah, so because he was like, "Yeah, I'll try it, whatever." Yeah, fine. And then it was
I
like,
did not go into it like that. I was open to it.
And then I just went hocus pocus.
Did your voodoo on me?
No,
And then I was
but
out, man.
when you open your eyes, you're like, "Whoa, whoa."
I was in a place. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
I was in a place.
EFT is legit. EFT is very easy to do, and it works very well. I think the reason why EFT isn't used more often is it would put a lot of therapists out of business because it works so well. I'd love to try it. Go over a little bit about what it entails. Well, first you would want to tell me what you want to do. So if you want to do a past lives, I don't do that often, but it's fairly easy to do. So the thing about when you start with the induction, which a lot of times is as simple as close your eyes, relax your legs, relax your arms, relax your feet, something like that. But it could vary. There's different inductions. And those are actually the same exact things that are used for guided meditation and for NSDR, all these different things that have different names. It's pretty much a form of hypnosis. But if you wanted to do something where you manifest something like a new car, a lot of people like a new house, you can do that, or a vacation. That's quite easy to do. It's like guiding you through. If you want to visit your higher self or a spirit guide or something like that. For me personally, what's interesting about that crystal, I'm not highly visual. I'm highly auditory. So I don't get visual things, but I will be able to facilitate it where other people are very visual. So some people describe it as a sort of dream, a vivid dream, right? That you're kind of awake. But there's versions of hypnosis too where we can talk, where I can ask you questions. And you just got to remember, when you're in hypnosis, your barriers are just coming down. That's all it is. And then there's other parts where I can make suggestions that are metaphorical or story-based that might switch your thinking. So your problem is always being too rigid. So if you're like Rye Flint's like, let's just say she's like, oh, dating sucks. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just giving you an example. And you're just having one outlook about that. How are we going to widen that? So if I chose a story to tell about something or a metaphor, something that would line up for her, but the really, really the best hypnosis is tailored, just like therapy. So it's just not one size fits all, but a lot of your gurus, a lot of your Joe Dispenza's not a bad guy, but his books about guided meditation, which is hypnosis, and he's got the 6 parts to it, the trainings, the tools. It's not that difficult, but he's a doctor, so he needs to make it sound difficult and sell things. But really, you can go into, and as long as me and you have rapport, if we have good rapport, then me asking you to close your eyes, relax your legs, relax your feet is quite easy usually. And then once you do that, all your barriers are down and you're open. You're open to suggestion. You're open to telling the truth. And if you don't like something, if I said, oh, you look like a pink rabbit, Eduardo Martinez, you'd go like this during the hypnosis. You wouldn't take that in. So you're still filtering out things you don't believe and things you do believe. But I do have a channel you can check out if you want to check it out. Mine today. Let's see if we can. Clean on today. But Crystal, if you want, we can do a trade. I'll do a hypnosis for you, and you can do a reading for me. Maybe it'll be good for both of us. That's my channel. That's my voice. You can email me, Crystal. Like I said, maybe we'll set that up. Expectation effect. No, I haven't read it. I heard that was good. Oh, thanks, Rob. Let me know what you think. Okay. Well, let me know when you're available, and we'll try to work that out. Old San Diego's finest. I miss San Diego. I lived there for almost 3.5 years. I loved it. Old Santee. I've been out there a few times. And B, to give him some credit here on that Clean Mind Today, is in charge of putting the background music to which he's done a great job.
And all of it, pretty much.
B just handed me like a little piece of paper to say that.
It's about time, all right, that I got some credit.
No, but he did put the music on there and did the thumbnails that are really good for that channel. It's work in progress, but
no, it's been fun to do that.
That's funny that I remembered Santee, out of all the places in San Diego. So I actually went to an interesting book that you might find cool, Crystal, is Extraordinary Knowing. I just spelled extraordinary wrong. Extraordinary Knowing. I think her name's Elizabeth something. I like that book. It's all about her being a skeptic about these kinds of things. Oh, that's cool. Rob's vetting you. Okay, cool. Like I said, maybe we can do a trade. Support each other.
Do you have a YouTube channel or just on Facebook?
Oh, there it is. Yeah. She does have a YouTube. Okay.
YouTube.
Ah. Very nice. Yeah, I want to do, me and B were just talking about this. I want to do more. Yeah, trade would be great. I would like that. I've done it. I'm actually on the 5th. Someone that I did my training with in hypnosis, which was over a year ago. She's studying something with quantum consciousness that's a little bit deeper. It takes 3 hours. I'm going to do one of those on the 5th. I'll let you know how it goes. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, we'll definitely have you on for an interview. Yeah, no, I just looked it up. I just got it here. There you go. Subscribed. You know what's crazy is I think, B, what do you, don't you think now more than ever people subscribe less? I feel like when I watch YouTube, I don't subscribe very often to anything.
Yeah.
Because there's so much in the feed.
I have already so many things that are
in the feed. Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not personal. I'll see something where I think when YouTube first started, you would be more apt to, maybe I'm just speaking for myself. Same with liking stuff. Like, you're watching things so much more quicker.
Yeah.
A nice little 3-hour
3-hour podcast.
just to prove my talking skills are still there.
They're there. You don't have to worry anymore.
Jeez Louise. So you know what's crazy about this lady that did Extraordinary Knowing? She went to these different clairvoyance, different things like that, and then she died. Like not from it, but you were like, why didn't one of them tell her?
Why didn't one of them say, hey?
The same with I don't know if you like the book Holographic Universe. That guy died early too. He was like in his mid-30s, and it was like an all-time book. Must have heard of that one, Crystal. Holographic Universe, Michael Talbot. Jeez.
Holographic universe.
Sounds good, Crystal. I think that's my cue too. Rye Flint, it's been a pleasure. Rob IS, good to have you, Guardian at the gate. Eduardo Martinez, if you're still riding, ride on. Sabina, James Brown,
Justin
Brown,
Eduardo, Trudy Short. What else we got?
and Sabina with €1,000 boots, but she gets them on sale.
I want to see those suckers.
Yeah, man, Italian leather, all natural causes, no barbed wire.
I mean that
individually.
I'm sold, man.
Individually numbered.
I'm sold.
It's curtains. Right on, Rob. Good to see you, bud. Thanks, Eduardo. Thanks, Rye. Take care.
Yeah, see you guys tomorrow.